wrapped up. I don't know what will. Great to have you with us as 4,300 cadets make the march inside of Michie Stadium. Cadets only, no fans, as Army's back on the home turf. They welcome in from the Southland Conference of the FCS, Abilene Christian, as college football is presented proudly today by the Home Depot. 0-1 Abilene Christian against 2-1 Army here on Armed Services Saturday. And as always, it is a pleasure and an honor to be with you alongside my broadcast partner, 7 years, the National Football League, Ross Tucker. Tina Servasio's down on the field. My name is Ben Holden. And Ross, a huge day for our network and all those that represent the academies. Our game first, Navy Air Force following us at 6. It's going to be a great day.
Yeah, man, I still have chills from that voiceover you just did. That was awesome. That got me even more pumped up than I already was.
A lot of people put a lot of work into that, and we appreciate their efforts. So let's talk about Army. Their defense, one of the best in the country under first-year defensive coordinator Nate Woody. They got a key piece back last week in Jabari Moore, who was out the first 2 games, as you show us in our Do Project Smarter, brought to you by the Home Depot.
Well, he wanted to come back and make some plays after being suspended the first 2 games. Boy, did he ever. He had an interception in the game, but he started it with an unbelievable play on the option. Watch the eyes. He sees that it's a pitch all the way. He told us yesterday, as soon as I knew it was a pitch, I triggered and was able to get in, bat the ball down, got a fortuitous bounce, and took it in for a touchdown. What a great start for the Black Knights last week.
Certainly was his 3rd play of the season for Jabari Moore, and he made that happen. We'll dive into that defense for Army a little bit more. Abilene Christian, they lost at UTEP a couple of weeks ago. They have a starter at quarterback, an Iowa transfer, the pride of Belton, Texas. He has 5 family members that attended West Point. We'll dive into that deeper later. But Peyton Mansell, what are your thoughts on him?
Well, he kept them in the game a couple weeks ago against UTEP. They actually had more total yards than did the Miners. 3 passes of over 35 yards down the field, and he gets his leading receiver, Kobe Clark, back today. He's mobile, he's accurate, he is a threat for Army.
Good stuff. We'll keep our eyes on him and the young man you mentioned at receiver coming back. How about Adam Dorrell? He is the first coach in Division II history to win 3 national titles, perfect in every season, 15-0, trying to resurrect Abilene Christian's program. He will be opposed today by the leader, the general of the Army football program, Jeff Monken, on the sideline. You see what he's done, closing in the top 5 in all-time wins here at Army is Jeff Monken. Wants his team to be resilient and come back strong here today. It is a beautiful West Point Saturday. 65, wins are 5-10. Absolutely perfect day for football. You ready, Ross?
I am always ready, and I've yet to have a bad day here since I've been doing these games.
It's hard to find one over the course of history of these games here. And you see Jordan Brooks West back to await the kick of Landon Salyers, who has it teed up. Army 2-1, lost by 14 at Cincinnati last week. Looking to get back on track. They're home for the next 2 games here today, and then next week against the Citadel. There is the canvas. What will these 2 teams paint on that said canvas today as toe meets leather and we're underway from Michie Stadium. And Salyers, the kick goes out of bounds. And the penalty flag comes out to open the ball game for Army.
Free kick out of bounds. The ball be placed at the 35-yard line, right hash, first down.
That is Jerry McGinn, our referee today. Mentioned Tina Servasio with us. Tina, welcome. What do you have for us today?
Well, Ben, last year when Army lost to Michigan, the injuries and the mental letdown impacted Army in the following games. But Jeff Monken says that will not happen here today after losing to Cincinnati last week. While Army came out of that game relatively healthy, Monken says the players are dissatisfied and disappointed, but he says this season's locker room culture knows not to look in the rearview mirror at the failure. That would keep them from concentrating on what to do to win today.
Yeah, outstanding, Tina. And this group is resilient nevertheless. No matter what they're doing, we'll see how they respond today. Mansell out of the gun, slings it on first down, caught at the 40, and a first down. As Army's got to gang tackle the receiver there. So a good start is McConnell on the receiving end of that Mansell pass there, his first of the game, and off to a good start are the Wildcats. So Peyton Mansell, mentioned his time he spent at Iowa, was there from 17 to 19, played in 5 games. That's what he's done so far this season in their only game.
And he told us he loved Iowa, loved everything about being there and being a Hawkeye, but he wanted the chance to play, and that's what the Wildcats at Abilene Christian have given him.
On the outside, Radigan on the tackle there as they take it inside of Army territory to the 47-yard line. Starters on the bottom of the screen on our I-bar. Left side of that line, Ross, very strong.
Right, they feel like the strength of the team is the offensive line in general, and that left side of the offensive line in particular, 3 seniors that have played a lot of football for Abilene Christian.
So they gain 5 on first down. Mansell comes out swinging again, looking for McConnell, and it is broken up. Good job getting over there by Broughton. He has had a great season so far, has Markel Broughton. Now Army's defensive starters, anything grabbing your eyes among those guys today, Ross?
Number 30, Darian McDonald. He is playing the dog position. Really got his first playing time last week against Cincinnati. Did extremely well. 3 tackles, a tackle and a half for a loss. So he gets his first start today.
Cedric Cunningham is back in the lineup for Army as well. 3rd and 5 here. They were 2 for 12 in their game a couple of weeks ago against UTEP. Mansell on the run, flings it near sideline. Did he get his feet down? They're saying no. They're saying it is incomplete down right in front of the Army sideline. So 4th down and 5 here, and it's always a situation as we'll look back. I'll get to that after you take us through this, Ross.
Well, he's trying to on the scramble. He's coming back, and he needed to throw it a little bit earlier than that. You can tell it didn't look like Clark was able to get a foot in there, but if Mansell had thrown it earlier to him, they could have picked up another 3 or 4 yards there and made it 4th and short rather than 4th and medium.
Well, I was going to say, it's always a situation where you've got to decide, do you want to give the ball to Army, and you may not get it back for 9 minutes. Doral makes the decision, and Army off the end, coming in, making the play in there. An outstanding play off that side.
Media.
Loss of 8. Army gets some turnover on downs, and the Black Knights will have the football. They come up huge on defense on the first series of the game. No score here from Mikey. Beautiful day here at West Point. Army's got the football when we resume here momentarily at the Abilene Christian 45-yard line. Kieran Henderson made the play here on 4th down, Ross.
They had 3 guys up here, and the left guard Parmalee thought he had Radigan. Chris thought he had Carter, but then watch what happens. They drop Radigan out. Henderson comes off the edge free, not able to get him. Clean shot on the quarterback. Chuck that one up to Army defensive coordinator Nate Woody again. That guy is on fire.
Defense came into the weekend ranked 4th in the country in total defense. 2 defensive touchdowns, 4 interceptions by 4 different players, and they just keep making plays. The real McCoy, Sandon McCoy, first carry of the day for Army, and he picks up 5. Christian Anderson last week rushed 22 times for 81. He threw 21. That is not Army-like. They had to out of necessity.
Yeah, they really don't want to be throwing the football that much, but they struggled to run the fullback. And when they struggle to run the fullback, you'll see a lot more carries for Anderson and throws.
On 2nd and 5 from the Abilene Christian 40-yard line. Buchanan and Jacoby Buchanan right to the yard line he needed to get, the 35. That'll move the chains. Our I-bar on the bottom. Anybody of note grabbing your eyes this week among the starters elsewhere, Ross?
I'm going to say left guard Mike Johnson. He's a captain, and Brent Davis, the offensive coordinator, told us he's played extremely well in all 3 games. He told us yesterday, I just try to play as low and as fast as I possibly can.
I'm sure that fullbacks coach Mike Vitti will be watching for him when the offense comes off the field today. They went viral last week. Here's Hobbs into space. Artis Hobbs near the first down stick as he was taken out of bounds there by Pop. They're going to move the chains again, so Army's march continues here after a gain of 12. Defensive starters for Abilene Christian. Who do you like amongst that group, Ross? Really stands out for you?
Hunter Keir is a good middle linebacker, but Jack Gibbons, number 47, first-team academic All-American. The coaches for Abilene Christian said he's the type of guy that could play for Army.
Had 104 tackles a season ago. That was 2nd on their team, trailing their leader, who had 110. Heavy hitting. Good job running, tough running there. Well done there by Anthony Atkins, third fullback we've seen already in the game on this drive. Army had just 50 yards from that B-back spot last week.
Watch this, it's an inside trap. Atkins breaks one tackle there, then busts through Hunter Keir, the middle linebacker. That is one heck of an effort by Atkins. We mentioned it a couple weeks ago, Ben, but Brent Davis, the offensive coordinator, calls him Ferdinand the Bull.
He does.
He doesn't know how good he can be. Maybe he's starting to find out after a run like that.
Had 4 carries, 34 yards, and a touchdown against Middle Tennessee in the opener. McCoy back in there, and Sandon McCoy taken down at the 12-yard line. Today's Red Zone being brought to you by Verizon. What Army has done this season: 9 trips, 6 touchdowns thus far. And something of note, Ross, from last week's game, Army had a 57-game streak of scoring at least 1 touchdown. Last time they didn't score a touchdown offensively in the game was November 7 of 2015 in a 20-3 loss against Air Force.
They've got that unbalanced line to the left here, Ben. You know what that usually means.
Yes. Buchanan, he's the fullback, takes it, puts his head down, gets a couple to the 10-yard line. Bring up second down.
That is a really good response by Abilene Christian there, because Army went away from tendency. They had the extra offensive tackle to the left side of the formation, and Army tried to trick Abilene Christian there a little bit, run to the weak side, but Abilene Christian was up for the challenge. Well done by the Wildcats.
7th play of the drive coming up here from the 10-yard line. Adam Doral looking on, trying to encourage his defense, trying to get a stop here against the team that is not easy to stop, especially in this part of the field. Anderson's going to keep it, cuts inside, takes a shot about the 7-yard line. And they're going to spot him down just shy of the 5 as he was gang tackled down there. 3rd down coming up.
Impressed by Cade Bernard, the fullback. Watch the lead block here on the quarterback zone. The 4th fullback we've seen already for the Black Knights. He's going to go low right there, takes out the safety, and gives Anderson a chance to make it 3rd and real short. This is almost always 4-down territory for the Black Knights when they get 3rd and a couple.
9.5 to go in the quarter. Opening possession for Army. Inside of the 5, down to about the 3-yard line. That's about where they needed to get. They could get a 1st down.
It's a nice job by Jack Gibbons.
Sure is.
Guy we were just talking about, able to get a pretty good hit on Buchanan. Buchanan able to carry him a little bit, but it's 4th and inches.
Yep.
This is usually the fullback or a quarterback sneak. We've seen more fullback this year. If the fullback gets really tight behind Anderson, that typically means quarterback sneak. If he doesn't, they're probably going to give him the football.
McCoy is set fullback. Sandon McCoy with 4 touchdowns. He won't get his 5th here as he is stopped inside of the 1, about a football length from the goal line. So they convert on the 4th down, sets up 1st and goal now.
Army going right back on the football. They like to do this sometimes when they get down near the goal line. It's the hurry up.
Abilene Christian is shifting up front. McCoy lunges and extends. It's a touchdown. Sandon McCoy, the march is capped by his 5th touchdown of the season for the Black Knights. And they are on the board 6-0 with a point after coming. Spending that money.
Once they get you on the ropes a little bit, they're going to just go. It's so smart. Abilene Christian not even able to bring in really their goal line defensive package. They wanted to bring a different guy on. They didn't have a chance. And they get that close, as Abilene Christian told us earlier this week, they smell blood.
15th of McCoy's career on the ground. As I mentioned, 5th of the season. O'Connor the snapper. Jose the holder. Salyers puts the right foot into it. And it's a 7-0 Army lead. So Munkin's guys off to a good start here today. Key play was on Abilene Christian's first series. They went for it on 4th down, and the sack was turned in by Kieran Henderson. That led to McCoy, and touchdown number 5 of the season.
College football on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by The Home Depot. How doers get more done. By Verizon, the network more people rely on. By Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. And by DiGiorno, it's not delivery, it's DiGiorno.
Army players last night in a special ceremony. Army football players last night in a special ceremony showing off the bling. It was ring night. The firsties, the seniors, get their class rings at the start of every school year. Army's tradition started in 1835. They're the first school in American history to do that. The scoring drive, Sandon McCoy, 5-yard touchdown. Ross, 10 plays, 45 yards, 519. 5 different Army players on that drive touched the football. This is Brooks West bringing it back. Good return on Brooks West. SMU transfer, and he's tripped up around the 25 and gets it out to close to the 30-yard line. That's where they'll start their drive. Pedigree keys to the game. Ross, what do you got?
Well, Abilene Christian needs to withstand the opening charge. I think we just saw it. Now we'll see how they react to it and take some shots. They hit some against UTEP, and Cincinnati was able to hit some against the Black Knights last week. For Army, the B-backs, the fullbacks have to perform better, and that's really the guys up front. They did a better job on that drive than they did last week, and cover up. They did not do a great job in coverage last week against the Bearcats.
So after a 23-yard return, right back to the air as Mansell comes out slinging. It's L.J. McConnell on the receiving end of that. One-time member of Liberty's football program. Saw him in here a few years ago with Antonio Gandy Golden and Buckshot Jones for Liberty.
Abilene Christian has a really unique roster. There's so many FBS transfers, so many JUCO transfers. It's rare you go through a roster and see that many guys that are here after having previously been somewhere else.
My apologies to Buckshot Jones. Buckshot Calvert. Here is McConnell, the former Liberty wide receiver. And they're going to spot him at the 38-yard line. Donna, Tina, for more on those transfers we're talking about. Tina.
Yes, you're talking about those guys. Jeff Munkin said to us yesterday that, you know, at Abilene Christian, they're practicing against guys that are bigger and more athletic than the Army players. And I asked Jabari Moore about that. He said, look, going into every game, I watch film, I go over scouting, I look for receivers' tendencies. I cannot worry about size or different matchups. He's just got to approach the opponent and prepare himself as much as possible. He goes, I can't worry about where they used to play football.
Good point. We can, but they can't. Mansell on the play fake, open in space. This will be a first down for the Wildcats out close to midfield, and that is caught there. Nicely done. The sophomore Tylen Williams, a former walk-on.
Really like what I'm seeing so far from Josh Lamberson, the offensive coordinator for Abilene Christian, doing a nice job getting the ball out of Mansell's hands quickly, getting the ball to their playmakers in space. That's exactly what you have to try to do against Army. They're not going to have a whole lot of success running it.
Penalty flags fly here. Look like movement on the left side of that Abilene Christian line.
False start. Offense, number 68. 5-yard penalty. First down.
That is on John Crisp, their left tackle, redshirt senior out of Abilene, Texas.
Wow, look at that beard.
It's a good beard.
I mean, that is a serious beard right there.
Good looking O-line beard, isn't it?
He played 6-man high school football in Texas.
That. Yeah.
I'm familiar with 8-man. I didn't even know there was a 6-man.
Many levels of it down in that state. They produce some players. Swinging out Williams again. Makes the grab. They're going to spot him out at the 45-yard line. So Mansell looks good so far.
And the reason why you get these balls out of his hands quickly and you're throwing it underneath of your Mansell is because Army's blitz packages are so good. They've already seen what that can happen with Henderson sack off the edge. They don't want to give Army a chance to get pressure on Mansell.
Getting it in chunks too. They got 10 on that one, 12 earlier on this drive. Mansell on the toss. Line of blockers trying to find a seam in there. Able to pick up a couple there was Tyrese White. Billy McCrary, a player that they had hoped to have back this year at the running back spot. They're not very deep there. They've got White and Dobbins in there. Really the two main guys they're going to hand the football to run it. 3rd and 4 coming up.
Good effort there by Amadeo West, one of the senior captains. Chased that all the way back down from behind. It looked like Abilene Christian had something there.
So 3rd and 4, 5:20 remaining in the opening quarter. 7-0 Army on top against Abilene Christian. Protection, Mansell slings it out there, and McDuffie was over there on the coverage for Army. So it's going to bring up 4th down again. And it appears that Dorrell's going to go for it again here.
What a great break on the ball. And if McDuffie was looking back for the ball, I think he might have been able to get an interception on it. I mean, he broke on it so well, it hit him in the back.
Yep.
I don't think he expected the ball to be thrown behind the receiver a little bit. That really should have been an interception. But McDuffie thought he was going to throw it ahead of him and bat it down. Another 4th and medium here.
Yep. Second 4th down attempt of the game for Abilene Christian. Timeout, though, by Army.
They weren't set.
Army, their first of the half. Be a 30-second charge. Timeout.
So there's the word from Jerry McGinn. So Army's defense will talk things over. 4th and 4 upcoming here. Well, we got a chance. Want to remind you, Armed Forces Football is proudly supported by Ram today. Good look at the stadium here. Approximately 4,300 cadets have filed in. No fans. I don't think they're going to allow fans here all year. I don't know, but I would be very surprised if fans are in here. The job they've done on post, not one positive test to our knowledge since this started on June the 1. That's what they've told us. And they have done a tremendous job since June 1st of following the rules and doing what you got to do right now in the times we're all living in.
Well, you would expect if any program at any university could stay disciplined and do all the right things, that it would be the U.S. Military Academy here at West Point.
What do you look for here,
Well,
Ross?
he's going to get the ball out of his hands quickly again so he doesn't get hit. They're bringing the same blitz, it looks like, from the right side this time.
Got him earlier on 4th down. Protection, gets it out there. McConnell's got it, and he should have the 1st down. He extended the arms there, and he's got it based on the spot I'm seeing right now.
They did a much better job there of getting the ball out of his hands quickly. He's the inside receiver. He runs a speed out. Malcolm Morrison, pretty good coverage there. It's a nice job by McConnell to reach that ball out.
Had 3 grabs for 44 yards. Had a 43-yard reception in that loss to UTEP a couple of weeks back.
At some point, Ben, Abilene Christian is going to take a shot. It's been underneath so far.
Peyton Mansell, 5 of 8 for 45. Looking to throw again. That one tipped. Oh, and Dobbins nearly had it. But closing in on him in a hurry was Malcolm Morrison. So Jemiah Dobbins, the intended target there, and he couldn't come up with it.
Again, there was pressure from Army, and the ball got tipped as it went out there. Even if he caught that pass, he wasn't going to get a whole lot of yardage. Amadeo West making another play already in this game.
3 tackles, a TFL, and a sack last week in the loss at Cincinnati for Amadeo West. From the 40, 2nd and 10. Maybe Mansell may take the shot there, as you mentioned. Instead runs it. Tough runner takes a shot from Radigan. And Army indicating the ball came out, but they're saying he was down. Saying he was down is Jerry McGinn.
There was nobody open there. I mean, even when Mansell bought time, he couldn't find anyone. I don't know if I would recommend that he do this all that much. Take on a guy like Radigan. You can tell he clearly had it. But Radigan had a huge hit last week against Cincinnati. Johnny Nation, as they call him, has been incredible. And really, from this distance at the 35-yard line, Coach Dorrell told us about the 47-yard line.
Previous plays under further review.
So they're going to take
on the field that the runner was down before the ball came loose.
They're going to take a look at this just to be sure.
Let's take one more look at it. I thought he recovered it himself anyway.
I did too.
So elbow's down, then the ball comes out.
Yeah, he's down.
Isn't he? Maybe he didn't recover. Maybe so. Yeah, Amadeo West, I think, got it at the end of that. Certainly looked like the left elbow was down before the ball came out.
Watch him reach in there with a right hand there, Mansell, and looks like he got it back in there. Call on the field was no fumble.
Yeah, he's got the ball in his hands right there.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure why we're reviewing it. If Mansell got it, what's the difference?
Peter Voss is our replay official today. One tweak in the system this year. If the replay official cannot make a decision within 2 minutes, then the call on the field will stand. This is the best look, I believe.
Left elbow's down before the ball comes out.
Oh yeah.
But again, he recovered it, so I'm not exactly sure what we're doing here, because he was able to bring it back in. How about the strength by Mansell to bring that in? I mean, Amadeo West was
wrapped
on the
around
ball.
him. Yeah.
Mansell must have one heck of a strong right wrist and hand and forearm to be able to pull that back in at the end. Wow. Looks like Amadeo West was on top of it.
It did. A look from the end zone here.
After further review, the ruling on the field stands. Not a fumble. Third down.
There you go. So the ball spotted at the 35-yard line of Army. Under 4 to go in the quarter. Third down coming up.
So 3rd and 5 from the 35. But their head coach, Adam Dorrell, told us he's comfortable kicking it from about the 30-yard line, a 47-yard field goal. So this is more than likely 4-down territory for the Wildcats yet again. They don't have to get all 5 here. They could try to surprise Army with a little run here and not try to throw for the first down on 3rd down.
Wildcats 0 for 2 on 3rd down. 10th play of the drive for Mansell, looking, fires, and down low and incomplete, looking for one of his tight ends there. That's the Nebraska transfer, Brandon Hohenstein. 4th and 5 coming up.
That's just a poor throw by Mansell. He had him, he was open. Mansell kind of reset his feet in the pocket, wasn't able to deliver an on-target throw, puts him once again 4th and 5. I mean, this is their third time already where it's 4th and 3 to 5 already in this game.
You know what, Ross? If I'm in opposition, I watch this tape because I don't know that I've seen a team this early in the game go for it as much as Abilene Christian has on 4th down. Snap there, hit McConnell in motion. Timeout.
Prior to the snap, timeout, ACU. Their first of the half. It'll be a 30-second charge timeout.
There you go. So they're going to talk it over here
for immediate timeout.
With 4th and 5 upcoming, we're going to step aside as well. Under 4 to go in the opening quarter. Abilene Christian trying to make a move and get back in this game. 3:38 to play in the opening quarter. Army on top by a touchdown, but Abilene Christian set to go for a 3rd, 4th down attempt as we get our MCOR view of the core, brought to us today by MCOR as always. And looking good in the core. 4,300, the approximate number of the cadets here inside of the stadium. They've been here since day one, since Army started back the first weekend of September against Middle Tennessee. So Ross, you look for a throw, a run, a delay. What do you look for?
No, at this point, I would imagine it's another throw, and it's probably either getting the ball out of Mansell's hand quickly or getting him on the move. Army likely to bring pressure again. Look at everybody up on the ball.
4th and 5, they need the 30. Mansell's got time, got a man in a seam, sliding down to make the catch, or did he? They say no. They say no. The target there was Kobe Clark. There was some question earlier in the week whether he'd play or not. There is a flag down.
Very late flag.
Yeah, inside of the 15-yard line.
And that's probably either a coach or a player saying something that they shouldn't.
Yep. It was in that neighborhood where Kobe Clark slid down to the turf, the junior out of Sweetwater, Texas. We'll get the word here from Jerry McGinn momentarily here.
The ruling on the field is an incomplete pass. After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct on ACU number 88, his first of the game. It'll be a 15-yard penalty, 1st and 10 for Army.
Yep, so Clark said something to the officials after they ruled it incomplete.
Let's take a look at it. Clark slides underneath it.
The previous play is under further review. The ruling on the field was an incomplete pass.
Thoughts, Ross, on that first look?
Yeah, kind of hard to see from that angle. From that angle, though, it kind of looked like he caught it.
And then here's the reaction and what drew the flag. Oh, yep, that's going to draw a flag every single time.
Little too hard there.
Yep. Little too much emotion there from Clark.
Could have handed it to him or could have soft tossed it. That was a little extra little extra mustard on that one from Clark.
Yeah.
I will say this, though, Ben.
What you got?
They don't always know, right? A receiver like Clark doesn't always know. But it's hard to imagine he'd be that frustrated and that adamant if he didn't catch it.
And I will add this. He had 87 catches last year, a school record, so he knows a thing or two about catching the ball, right? To your point.
You know, the ball came out at the very end of it, but he'd already been sitting down for a second or two.
Right.
When he initially slides, let's take another look at it. When he initially slides in there, ball's into his belly. I don't know. I don't think he caught it.
Yeah.
I don't think he caught it. I think they did a good job on. I think they did a good job on the field.
It was a 24-yard play that was ruled incomplete, being reviewed now.
Yeah, I don't. There's certainly not enough in my mind there to overturn it, Ben. It went through his hands.
After further review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. Incomplete pass. First down, Army.
So as a result of the penalty on Clark, Army is going to have the ball at midfield against Adam Dorrell's defense.
Big time missed opportunity there for Adam Dorrell's team. The throw from Mansell could have been a little bit higher, a little bit better, but that's one I think Kobe Clark will tell you he should have caught. Heck, I think he thinks he did catch it.
He did, no doubt about it. So here's Anderson in the Army offense, their second possession of the game. Here's McCoy breaking his way through the middle. Great run on first down, a gain of 8 for Sandon McCoy there. Jaron Parker on the stop for Abilene Christian.
Love the inside trap. We used to run this back in high school. Watch Mike Johnson. We used to call that 2-dive. Center blocks back. Mike Johnson's going to get right up in there. Boom. Kicks out. Nice job by J.B. Hunter on the linebacker. That's beautiful. That's a wing T play right there. Delaware wing T back in the day.
Taking you back, huh? Moving inside. Looked like Thielen moved. One of their tackles in there. A guilty one for Abilene Christian.
Offside. Defense, number 59, with contact. 5-yard penalty will result in a first down.
So if you're Abilene Christian, you got to kind of reel it in now. They're playing with a little bit too much emotion, don't you think?
Yeah, we talked about withstanding the opening charge. They did a decent job moving the football, but now they got to keep their emotions in check. Thielen's only a redshirt freshman. He knows he's about to get double teamed. He's trying to get any edge he can to get off on the snap as quickly as possible.
3 penalties for 25 yards thus far against Abilene Christian. First and 10 Army now. The 37. Anderson pitches it. Tyrell Robinson, Mr. Electricity, and he was nearly down, still on his feet. Tyrell Robinson, are you kidding me? What an effort by Robinson. There is a flag down. He keeps you on your toes. He is a special, special player, but they got to discuss the penalty here. And what do we have? Injured Abilene Christian player down at the 30 as well.
Lost his shoe.
So many jukes, he blew a tire.
He might keep you on your toes, but he can't keep the shoe on his toes.
Personal foul. Defense, number 0, for participating during the play without a helmet. 15-yard penalty be added on the end of the run. Automatic first down.
So that's on Jaron Parker.
That's a tough one. That's a rule that came out a couple years ago.
It'll be a half the distance foul.
So here's the rule, Ben. If you lose your helmet, you cannot continue the play. They don't want guys that don't have a helmet obviously getting in the action. So that's hard, though. You know, I mean, you're running, you're trying to get off a block, and all of a sudden your helmet's off. They don't want you to continue the play, and Parker actually came in and made the tackle.
Here we go. Let's take a look
Watch
back at it.
him right here. He's working against Michael Roberts. He'll eventually, the receiver, he'll eventually get off the block, but he loses his helmet right there. He's not stopping. He still goes. Ooh, that could be really dangerous. I think he took a knee from Robinson right in the head, which is exactly what they're trying to avoid.
Yep. So Army back into the red zone. Second time in the quarter. Moving on the right side of that line there was Dean Powell. Army a week ago, if the penalty is on them, they have 12 penalties for 105 yards against Cincinnati. The most since they
False
had 12.
start. Offense, number 67. 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
Those 12 penalties were against Buffalo in Jeff Monken's first year.
Well, and that's one of the reasons why they had to throw as much as any. Look at Dean Powell, the right guard. He moves. So if you're going to do that, you got to do it while the defender is in the neutral zone. The defender is allowed to get back. So if Dean Powell wanted to try to get the free 5 yards there, you got to do it when he's in the neutral zone.
Anderson outside into the hands of Ortiz. Good tackle. Another flag back at the 20-yard line. Good job over there on the far sideline. Making the play was Washington. Robinson over there as well.
Personal foul, chop block, offense, number 55 and number 59. 15-yard penalty, remains first down.
So Hunter and Johnson guilty there as Monken's guys with back-to-back penalties.
It's usually when there's an offensive lineman and a running back. That is really unusual for it to be 2 offensive linemen involved in the chop block, especially if they are adjacent to each other. You almost never see that.
So now it's a first down and 30. Back at the 35, Anderson looking to throw for the first time today, tucks it. And he's dropped at the 30-yard line by a host of white shirts.
You know, it's funny, Ben, we were talking with the coach, and Anderson
and slow to get up, yeah.
Man.
He was dinged up in the last home game we had against
Officials time, injured player, offense.
Louisiana Monroe. Jabari Law is still not ready to go. He was injured last November here in the win over VMI. Let's take a look, Ross.
Well, 1st and 30, so they're throwing it. Nobody's open. Anderson tucks it away, and big hit from 3 different Abilene Christian Wildcats, including Greg Green, the junior linebacker, number 33.
Yep.
And that's how Army plays. I mean, their quarterbacks are going to put their head down and try to get every inch. Part of me wonders, especially with Laws out, if Jeff Monken wouldn't prefer that Anderson not take shots like that. But I don't know that I've ever seen an Army quarterback slide. It's just not what they do. It's not in their DNA. It's not.
Yeah.
It's not part of their position. You know, you see every other level, the quarterbacks will slide, but not at Army.
Jamel Jones getting some warm-up tosses in. Anderson entered the weekend number 2 in the country among rushing quarterbacks with 230 yards. Malik Willis from Liberty was the top quarterback running the football so far this season. And we mentioned that game against Louisiana Monroe a couple of weeks ago and took a heavy shot in that game. Here's a look at it.
That was just on a drop back pass.
Yeah.
Where he took a helmet right into the sternum. He was able to come back in that game, though.
Yep.
He is one tough young man.
He is product of the Bronx. So Jamel Jones in running the offense now for Brent Davis and Army. Atkins not much there, nothing in fact, and Abilene Christian saying they came away with a ball. I had heard a whistle. Believe this play is dead.
This has been one choppy, discombobulated drive.
It sure has.
Officials
There's
time.
another Abilene Christian
player.
Wildcat
Defense.
down.
Jack Schultz, one of their guys up on the front line.
His knee's down and it's been down.
The right knee was down, yeah. So there's Schultz. They tend to him. 35 yards in penalties against Abilene Christian on the drive. Army with their fair share of penalties as well. 45 seconds remaining in the quarter. 3rd and 25 for Army when we get you back.
Serve it.
Inside of a minute to go in the quarter, Jack Schultz, the junior out of Granada Hills, California, needing help to get off there. And this has been a strange series. It'll be the 5th play for Army coming up here when we resume, Ross. They started at the 50-yard line. They've lost their starting quarterback in the meantime. Jamel Jones is in. You see what he's done. the youngster out of the state of Texas.
Would not be surprised, Ben, if we saw a run here by Army to just try to get in better field goal range for Landon Sawyers. Right now, it'd be a 47-yard field goal. It's 3rd and 25. The odds of getting the first down, not real good. Would not be surprised if this is a run to get more favorable field goal position.
Sawyer's career long is 42 yards. They get it to the outside. Christian Parrish, who came back into the lineup last week at Cincinnati, but an outstanding job stringing that play out by Abilene Christian. 4th and 22 now.
Well, they benefited from a couple penalties for sure, but give Abilene Christian a lot of credit. You know, we talked about one of the keys was standing the opening charge. That's exactly what they did.
So Sawyers is going to trot out. Clock is running, though, in the dying seconds here of the quarter.
Yeah, they don't have to kick it. I don't think they're going to.
Yeah. There is no wind. 43-yard attempt. That is it for the first opening quarter. Jeff Monken's guys back home and on top 7-0 over Abilene Christian. Big play there out of the youngster Henderson early on against Peyton Manziel. After one, 7-0 Army. You're watching college football on CBS Sports Network.
Hi, I'm Lieutenant General Darrell Williams, 60th Superintendent of the United States Military Academy and former Army football player. Our job here at West Point is to educate and train and inspire the 4,400 cadets who will one day have to lead our soldiers in ground combat. Here at West Point, we talk about living honorably, leading honorably, and demonstrating excellence. Today, you will see Army football players demonstrating that excellence. You'll see tenacity, you'll see grit and relentless pressure. Those same characteristics that we expect of our Army lieutenants as they lead soldiers in combat. Go Army!
Word there from the soup as we begin the second quarter alongside Ross Tucker. Well, socially distanced from Ross Tucker. Tina Servastio on the field. My name is Ben Holden. We begin with a 43-yard attempt from Landon Sawyers, who is 2 for 2 on the season. His career long is 42. That was against Liberty 2 years ago, and Sawyers able to bend that one through, and it's up and good. So a new career long for Landon Sawyers as he comes off, and Army on top 10-0. You're 5 seconds in to the second quarter.
That is a money kick right there by Sawyers. And a nice hold as well by Brooks Jose. He hooked it in, but after everything that happened on that drive, to at least still find a way to get points and go up by 2 scores is significant.
Well, speaking of said drive, you get a look from the backside of Landon Sawyers putting that through there. Toe meeting leather. So Army was in the red zone, Ross, at the 14 of Abilene Christian. Moved things back to the 26. Both teams had a couple of penalties in that possession, and Sawyers and his guys on top 10-0 as a result.
But that's also one of the reasons why Army struggled to move the ball against Cincinnati last week. I mean, we talked about earlier, too many penalties, and one of the reasons why they had to throw the ball more than they normally would. A lot of down and distances like that.
23-yard kick return, the last go of it there for number 15, Jordan Brooks West, the sophomore. So the drive, the summary of the drive, Landon Sawyers, the 43-yard field goal, 6 plays, 39 yards, 337. And he's got it teed up from the 35. Davion Johnson, number 87, also back deep for Abilene Christian. And they're going to let this one bounce about 6 yards into the end zone. They'll bring it out 1st and 10 from the 25-yard line. Well, we got a chance here. 2 teams getting ready to come on. It's time for today's installment of Army's Greatest Legends. It's brought to us today by The Exchange. We take a look back at Army quarterback and defensive back Arnold Tucker. Tucker played on 3 national championship teams for Army. He compiled the record as a starting quarterback of 18-0-1. How about this? 11 picks in his career. He was named Mr. Topside. Any relation?
Not that I know of, but based on that video, can I claim him? That guy looks awesome. Let me just tell you, that's when you said Tucker played on 3 national championship teams, that just sounded right.
So Abilene Christian, who has gone forward on 4th down 3 times in this game. I give him credit for that. You're playing this team, you have to do that. Great job by Malcolm Morrison there, stringing out Darius Lewis. And he forced him into a 4-yard loss, did Morrison.
Morrison plays that Apache position, which is really the weak side linebacker slash nickelback. You need a guy that can cover in the slot, but also be able to make plays like that against the run. He came up and forced that. He was either going to make the tackle or make it go back inside.
10 tackles so far on the season for Morrison. Coming into the game, had an interception against Middle Tennessee. Little shadow pass there by Mansell, and Eric Smith not fooled. He stayed home, got some help from McDuffie there as they finish off Tyrese White, bringing up a 3rd and looks like about 12.
You're going to see Eric Smith. He'll eventually follow and get all the way out there as Mansell steps up in the pocket. Pretty good protection initially, really, Ben. He steps up, puts it out there, and Smith's actually in zone coverage. Good close by him. 3rd and long. If you're Mansell, be careful. Army usually likes to heat you up.
They haven't converted on 3rd down yet. Mansell in trouble. He can't get away, and he's going to be dropped inside of the 10-yard line. A young man who's played very good in the early going of this season, Nolan Cockrell, comes up with a big-time play there. How about the stand there from Nate Woody in that Army defense? Loss of 10.
They're going to run some stunts up front. Watch these guys stunning around. That's how they eventually get there. Working against the left sideline. It's a TE. The tackle goes up, the end loops in, and Cockrell just kept working. You know, a lot of times you think the looper, the guy coming around, is going to make the play, but the pusher, he can make it if he just keeps going like that.
So on to boot it away is Logan Burke. Tyrell Robinson is a deep man, but not a good punt. They are still trotting down the sideline, and where did this thing go out? Just a horrible punt there.
Well, the ball itself is in the 8th row now.
Yes, it is. And they are going to have the football here. It looks like the 16-yard line.
That's got to be a bad feeling.
Yikes.
You know, Army had a little bit of pressure there, and I think he felt it. And obviously, because he felt it, he had a bad punt. We'll see if the Black Knights can cash in.
A 3-yard punt. It'll go down in the books. And Army inside of the red zone from the 16-yard line to begin this drive. Jamel Jones running the offense. Christian Anderson forced out of the game a couple of series ago. A toss near side. Good block out there. Robinson. Flag comes in. Robinson shy of the 5. He was pursued by 3 white shirts. We'll have to check the penalty flag. Hunter Keir forced him out of bounds.
Personal foul, face mask, defense, number 23. Half the distance to the goal, 1st down.
Another penalty, that one on Cam Stokes for Abilene Christian.
Officials time, injured player, defense.
And Stokes is down on the field too. Short-lived, he's back up.
Look for 23. It was an awesome block. Right side of your screen. Raheem Murphy. He really sealed the edge going low, and as he went low for the cut block, I think that's where he was pulling his face mask right there.
It was, yeah.
What a block, though, by Murphy, kind of filling the same role that Brandon Walters fills as that T-back, usually the wing back with blocks. That really cleared the edge.
So 1st and goal here now for Army. Cade Bernard, the lone man in the backfield. Jamel Jones walks in for the touchdown. Easy one there for him. And Army, just like that, a 16-yard drive capped off by the short run from Jamel Jones, and it's 16-0.
And it was really another great block by a wingback. I love watching the wingbacks block. Number 11, right there, Brandon Walters comes up the edge, goes low right there on the linebacker. He knows that the middle linebacker, Hunter Keir, he is responsible for the quarterback. So he arc released around the defensive end, Heck of a block there on Keir by Walters.
Cannon's a little out of sync. Salyers comes on and does not get the extra point. Missed it. Remains 16-0 after a 3-yard punt. 3 was the number here. Jamel Jones, 3 yards and in for Army. They're on top, 16-0. Beautiful spot there. Castle up across the river from here on the east side of the Hudson River. You can see that out of our press box view here in our booth, and we'll be back here next Saturday. 1:30 Eastern kick. We'll be right back here at Mikey as Army will take on the Citadel. Catch it all right here on CBS Sports Network, the 24-hour home of CBS Sports. Jamel Jones, a 3-yard touchdown run, 2 plays, 16 yards, 16 seconds. Tyrell Robinson had a 10-yard run to help set up Jamel Jones.
So wait a minute, 16 yards in 16 seconds for Army to have 16 points?
Yeah, play it.
What are the odds of that?
Play the daily on Monday. 3-yard punt, 3-yard touchdown. Army goes onside here, and a battle for it. The 43-yard line. Army saying they've got it, no indication. Now there's the indication, and Army comes up with a football. Spencer Jones in there, and they catch
on the field was
Abilene Christian.
By Army. 1st and 10.
That tricky Jeff Monken.
Abilene Christian actually played it pretty well. I mean, they were there. Hargrove, the ball came right to him. He just wasn't able to field it. It's not like they were fooled. I mean, Hargrove would have been the guy either way trying to field that onside kick. So credit to him for being ready for it, but he's a linebacker, not a running back or a receiver, and it bounced off. And wow, look at that. What a great picture of those two guys fighting for that football.
Sure is. Great work, great work. Fabrice Voyne in there to recover it, and Army goes to work from near midfield again. As Hobbs took a shot to the 45, he goes, gain of 3 on the first down run. And while we got a chance, let's remind you Armed Forces Football is proudly supported today by ServPro. Second carry of the game for Hobbs. Buchanan checks back in, big 33.
Onside kick there reminds me of the fake punt against Louisiana Monroe.
Wilson Cato with the conversion, about a 40-yard run up the far sideline from our vantage point you're referring to. So 3rd and about 4 coming up here as Buchanan free from the pile.
You know, it feels like Abilene Christian's doing a decent job. It feels weird to say, Ben. They're down 16-0, but obviously the bad punt had something to do with that. They're doing a decent job slowing down the Army rushing attack, but when you get to 3rd and 4, that usually means 2 downs to get 4 yards for the Black Knights, and they're usually pretty good at doing that.
Army 0 of 2 on 3rd down so far today. They need 4 on this 3rd down. Jones keeps it. Jones going to get a lot more. Jamel Jones into the open field. And Jones dropped just shy of the 10-yard line. So a big chunk of yardage there to put him back into the red zone here with a little more than 11 minutes remaining in the half.
Sandon McCoy, what a great block as always. The fullback, watch him, the quarterback's on watch number 3. Hunts him up, Keir goes down, he actually got 2 on that.
42-yard pickup. Right up the gut once again they go this time with Sandon McCoy. 5 touchdowns on the season for him.
You know, I haven't heard many people talk about it, Ben, but I think Sandon McCoy is an NFL prospect.
Yeah, you said that to me earlier today.
I mean, he's very athletic. He's good with the ball in space. He can catch the ball. He's an excellent blocker, and with more and more NFL teams using a fullback, I've been telling some scouts about it.
Yeah.
Because they're looking for more fullbacks, but a lot of college teams don't have fullbacks. Army's got like 20.
Mike Vitti, their fullback coach, calls them America's war horses and their workhorses, and here they go again. In for the touchdown, Brent Davis dialing it up. An easy march there as they finish things off. Right up the gut for Buchanan.
You know what time it is, Ben?
It's Buchanan time.
It's fire the Buchanans. And that was relatively easy. That's about as easy as it gets. Watch, it's just a belly to the left side. He gets a good block from the wing back as usual, and he was really untouched till he got to the goal line.
Hunter Keir was there, but he was already in the end zone, as you said. And here's Salyers, missed his last point after. A good snap, good hold, and Landon Salyers able to bang that one through. 23-0 Army. Ross. It all started with the onside kick by Jeff Munkin's guys.
Media. Timeout.
That was the key. Army gets a possession that they weren't expecting, and then they knew exactly how to cash it in.
Black Knights on top, 23-0.
First Class Danielle Haynes with the 451st Expeditionary Sustainment Command in Wichita, Kansas. And I like to say good luck on your game on Saturday. Go Army!
Well, they're going all right. 23-0 on top of Abilene Christian. Abilene Christian has gone for it 3 times on 4th down, but they've only converted 1 of those opportunities. I give them credit for that, but you got to get points when you're doing that and convert and keep drives alive when you're playing the monster that usually is Army's offense. 5 plays, 58 yards. 2:02 longer than the last drive, Ross. The other drive was 16 seconds. This one took 2:18, capped by Jacoby Buchanan.
And I think we need to point out that Abilene Christian had more yards, both rushing and passing, and time of possession than UTEP when they played. That's the only game Abilene Christian's played. UTEP's a 3-1 FBS school right now. So Abilene Christian, in their only performance this year, did a really nice job.
Outgained him 107-13 in the opening quarter of that game, but ended up losing by 4, 17-13. Time now to go to the marquee. The Geico difference makers, Tyrell Robinson. Man, is he something special.
3rd in all of FBS in yards per carry for guys that have at least 13 attempts. He's electric.
Jack Gibbons, very good on and off the field in his career, over 200 tackles, a semi-finalist this year for the prestigious Campbell Trophy here in the year 2020. Peyton Mansell, his parents and 3 other family members attended West Point. He'd like to get a drive going right now here at West Point. Puts that one on the mark. They gain 11 to move the chains. That one is reeled in by Kobe Clark, who earlier thought he caught one, but didn't. This one he made.
Bootleg, left side of your screen, middle of the screen. Here it comes, 88, Clark. Nice throw and catch. Clark had 7.3 catches per game last year, which was 6th in all of FCS football. And he missed the UTEP game, so they're happy to get him back today.
And a career high 11 catches against Mississippi State for them. Just a 90 catches on the season. The jet sweep here. McConnell gets into space. McConnell, big pickup. McConnell trying to outrun everybody. L.J. McConnell. McDuffie, though, tracked him down from behind. Touchdown saving tackle by McDuffie, but a huge play turned in by L.J. McConnell. Big time play to set up Abilene Christian inside of the red zone. Right here.
I don't know what he's doing right there. He put up his hand, but he's flashing the deuces, as the guys say right there. Saying peace signal. I don't know what he was doing, but you better hustle because Julian McDuffie can run.
He can.
Wow, that's a bad look right there. McDuffie's the fastest player for the Black Knights. You can't throw up the peace sign if you're going to get caught from behind.
55 yards and peace out, I suppose, there, but a first and goal now here. The ball came loose from Mansell, scooped up in the backfield by Dobbins, who's dropped by Cunningham on the spot. So now 2nd and goal coming up from about the 14-yard line. Loss of 5.
Just never got the snap. Actually, he got it. It looks like it slipped out of his hand as he was coming back to try to give it to Dobbins, the freshman.
We had a chance to visit with Mansell earlier this week. He said, I've watched Army forever. He goes, you know they're going to come out and play smash mouth and punch you in the face. He's trying to punch back here for his team. Swings it out, and the pass off the mark. Brooks West was open, just a throw that got away from him. 3rd and goal coming up now.
Mansell's missed a few throws that I think he would like to have back. I don't know how many yards Brooks West would have had there, but he had some space in front of him. They say he's like a jitterbug in space. He's exactly the type of guy you want to get the ball to in space.
Mansell is 7 of 14, Ross, for 59 yards.
Keep your eye on Kobe Clark right there. He's the middle of the 3 receivers. Army looks to be in his zone coverage here.
3rd and goal. He looks that way, and he's going that way, but not to Clark. Instead was looking at Brooks West there, and McDuffie in the neighborhood. 4th and goal coming up now for Abilene Christian. Looks like they'll trot on the field goal unit.
Army gets pressure again. Eric Smith. It's not easy or fun being a quarterback against Army. I mean, watch the shot. Eric Smith is like a sledgehammer. Wow.
He is. It's one tough dude.
Mansell is one tough dude.
Sure is.
His parents must have gone to West Point.
I've heard that. We thank them all for their service. Here is Zepeda trying a 31-yard attempt, and Blair Zepeda is good. And Abilene Christian is on the board. It's now a 20-point deficit for Adam Doral and his guys. L.J. McConnell looked like he had a touchdown.
Media.
Ross, what happened?
Timeout.
He was saying peace. He didn't know that Julian McDuffie was coming for him. That's a 4-point play by McDuffie.
As I grew up, I had a lot of interest in military stuff. I found myself watching lots of documentaries about World War II, World War I, Vietnam. It didn't really click to me that, hey, maybe this is something that I want to do. As I got later in my matriculation through high school, it became a thing where maybe West Point would be something for me, and I thought about it, and I thought it was a great idea.
What an incredibly well-spoken young man Eric Smith is, and he is an outstanding football player. He is today's Mercedes-Benz player profile, the junior out of Bowie, Maryland. Last season, a career high 88 tackles. And Nate Woody told us earlier this year, Ross, he said his preparation reminds him of the way Mike Singletary used to prepare. High praise from his defensive coordinator. Fair caught here, the 7-yard line. Let's get down to Tina for an update. Tina.
Well, Army quarterback Christian Anderson remains in the injury tent since he went down with that injury in the first quarter. Now, obviously, we have seen Jabari Laws doing a great job, but number 9, Maurice Bell, the sophomore quarterback, I've seen him warm up his arm a couple of times. What I've observed from the injury tent is pretty much a lot of activity earlier on with trainers in and out. Now it's pretty quiet. Every so often a trainer goes in, will bring in some ice and some hydration for Anderson. And one point, I also saw Sandon McCoy go in there and talk to him. And when he came out, I mean, we can't assume anything, but he didn't look too happy.
Great stuff, Tina. Thanks. We know you'll keep your eyes and ears on that as Jamel Jones remains in at quarterback.
That's kind of rare, by the way. I don't know that I've ever remember a guy spending that much time in the injury time. He's been in there a while.
Yeah. Nearing the midway point of this second quarter, Army on top by 20. Pick up a 3 there. 3 from Zepeda, 31-yard field goal, 6 plays, 62 yards on the drive for Abilene Christian to get them on the board here today. Jamel Jones in trouble, got away from one tackler, can't get away from the second. Good pursuit there. Nice job staying at home there. Making the stop was Brian Bullock. 3rd and 8 coming up now for Army.
One of my favorite plays that Army runs is the quarterback counter, but watch on the edge there. It's a terrific job by Greg Green. He watches Powell come, whoop, just makes a miss right there, and Jones had to go around him. Green able to just make that pulling guard Powell miss and ruined everything for Army on one of their most effective plays, the quarterback counter.
4th, 3rd down conversion attempt here. Army is 1 of 3. Play clock gets down and then whistles halting play here. There's a flag down the 28-yard line.
These are the penalties that drive Monken crazy.
False start. Offense. Number 57. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
The dreaded pre-snap penalty.
Yeah, he said he doesn't mind aggressive penalties, but it's the pre-snap penalties that bother him. By the way, it's pretty hard to have a false start if you're the center. I mean, you have the ball in your hand. When you move, it's starting. Unless he moved something other than the ball.
So this changes a lot for Army. It's 3rd and 13 now. Not their forte. We'll see what they do here. Walters in motion. 4-wide set. Jones going to take a shot near sideline. Overthrows the intended target down there. That was Regan Donaldson. So 4th down, and Monken will send the punt group on with Zach Harding.
Good job by Abilene Christian there. Anytime you get out there, I mean, they get a 3 and out right there. It's a really nice job. They'll get the ball back, pretty good field position, have a chance to once again make this a 2-score game.
So Harding on for the first punt for Army. Their 5th possession. They've had a touchdown and a field goal. Harding had one blocked last week at Cincinnati. This one a line drive taken by Brooks West. Good job getting down there by Broughton. Marquel Broughton speeding down there like he was shot out of a cannon. Makes the tackle for Army. 6 to go in the half. Army on top by 20 here on Armed Services Saturday.
The thing about military life is it's just given us an opportunity to see a whole bunch of things that we've never seen. I mean, we've been to Germany, we've been to Korea. The kids have just seen parts of the world that a lot of other kids haven't been able to see, and it's not like we'd ever pick up and just move there to begin with.
24 years later, we are super grateful that West Point brought us together. You don't realize how great West Point was until after you've graduated and have gone down the road a little bit, and so we definitely look back on that and realize the tradition and stuff is pretty special.
But we have to say, Pete, go tear them up, buddy. Go ACU.
Beat Army.
Got to be the first time in their lives they've been cheering against Army, and the parents were awesome. Mike and Kim. Tina and I had a chance to visit with them early in the week as their son goes back to work and puts it into the hands of LJ McConnell, who's dropped at the 30. So not only are mom and dad proud West Point grads, I mean, look at this, Ross. I mean, you got 5 family members that graduated from the academy. Thank you all, each and every one of you, for your service to our country. Dad is still in the Army as a dentist. Pretty awesome stuff.
Absolutely incredible. You want to talk about service families, and think about how impressive you have to be. You know how hard it is to get into West Point?
I hear things,
and every family member was able to get in. That's crazy.
It really is incredible. Here's Brooks West as Amadeo West waiting for him there. He gets to the 34, where he stopped. It'll bring up a 3rd down and long here for Abilene Christian. And you know me, Ross. Peyton Mansell, his dad was a hockey player here, and his dad said his son likes to hold on to the fact that he won a championship and he scored the game-winning goal in that. So that's a nice little sidebar. 3rd and 8 here for Abilene Christian as we get back on track here. They're down 20, 3rd and 8. They've got 2 timeouts trying to convert here to climb back a little bit closer into this game if they can. Mansell thought about it, now going to keep it and run, and a tough run to the 40. Now you got a decision if you're Doral. Your own 40 needing 2 here with 4.5 to play in the half.
I think he's going to go. I think he should go.
Okay.
If you punt here, you're not really trying to win the game, right, in my mind.
I agree.
If you go for it, you're trying to get it within 2 scores. You're trying to give yourself a chance to win the game. And that was a very gutsy run by Mansell. He's not afraid, that's for sure.
No, he's not.
Can't imagine they'd run it here. They're taking a lot of time.
1 of 3 on 4th down. And this is going to change the dynamic, one would think.
False start. Offense, number 72. 5-yard penalty, 4th down.
The right guard, Cage Hendricks, the guilty one.
It was really both guys on the right side of the line, and I think they were either trying to quick count Army or a hard count Army and get a free 5. So quick count is you snap the ball in the first count and you try to catch them off guard. Hard count, you try to draw them off sides. Either way, it didn't work.
So Burke back on. His first punt was 3 yards. This one's slightly better. Takes a good bounce. Robinson bobbled it. And a scramble and fight for the football. And Army was able to recover it.
Man,
ooh.
You know how much confidence you have to try to field a punt on a double bounce like that?
Ooh.
And I don't think Jeff Monken's going to talk about his confidence when he comes over here real quick.
I'm guessing you're right.
It's just hard to field those things. Robinson's got a lot of faith in his ability and was able to jump on that as Army averts disaster.
Yep, he would have been in prime position there at the right around the 20-yard line with a couple of timeouts left in the half.
As my grandfather, who by the way was a captain in the Army, used to always tell me,
love it.
It is an oblong ball. You don't know which way it'll bounce.
Good advice. Close to 2 on this run here for the Black Knights. They've got 2 timeouts, leading by 20 with 3:20 remaining in the half. What Army has done, their last possession, the only one that has not resulted in points thus far today.
It's weird, Ben, because it feels like Abilene Christian's actually done a pretty decent job stopping the run, yet you see the success Army's had.
2nd and 8. Keir was the first to get to McCoy, but Keir's problem was there. McCoy got about 3 more yards after the initial contact to set up a 3rd and a lot more manageable.
That was a heck of a run by McCoy and puts Army right where they want to be, although they got to hurry up a little bit. They don't exactly have a quick strike offense.
Yep, that's very true. McCoy again, and Sandon McCoy able to get the first down to the 32-yard line.
So in college football, that obviously stops the clock until the chains are set, although they started it pretty early there.
They did. I don't even think it stopped. Jamel Jones going nowhere, and tackle made there by the defensive end Jordan Pop. He's on my all football name team there.
It's a really nice job by Pop. He's a Nebraska transfer. Really tough, hard-nosed kid playing down the line. One of those guys that Jeff Monken was talking about. He said, hey, listen, this guy's been practicing against kids from Nebraska the last 3 years. He's not going to be afraid of guys from Army.
Right. Robinson, the motion man. They toss to Robinson, but that play is blown up. Robinson escapes, though, but he will not escape that. Found a way to get out of the first would-be tackler with his speed and athleticism. Pressure applied by Freeney.
Their 2nd of the half. Be a 30-second charge. Timeout.
Watch Freeney right here. He's going to fight the pressure. It's a quick toss. Freeney's the defensive end. They're trying to reach him. He goes inside Hunter. That's a really tough block to ask Mike Johnson to accomplish. I mean, the left guard should never be able to hook a defensive end like that.
Adam Dorrell talking things over with his staff, and got a 3rd and 11 upcoming for Army. Coming up on the Verizon Halftime Report, Brent Stover, Houston Nutt, Randy Cross, Kevin Carter will get you caught up on all the latest scores and news in college football. They will also preview Navy and Air Force coming up tonight at 6 Eastern right here on CBS Sports Network. It's all coming up on the Verizon Halftime Report. That the first game in the CIC race. It'll be Air Force's first game of the season. Navy's played a couple after the disaster they had against BYU. They rebounded very nicely in their win over Tulane their next time around. 3rd and 11 here for the Black Knights. Out of the gun is Jamel Jones. Jones looking, fires, and it's caught by Hobbs. And he went out of bounds right there to stop the clock with 1:46 to go.
I don't really understand that decision by Hobbs.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to know the situation. It's 3rd and long. Hobbs went out of bounds. I mean, really, he just stopped the clock for Abilene Christian.
And he had room, too, up the sideline.
Yeah, I don't know that Hobbs knew the down and distance there. You don't want to go out of bounds like that, 3rd and long. Turn upfield, try to get more yards, number 1. Number 2, you don't want to save them time.
Yeah, they have 1 timeout left as Harding boots this one away.
What a kick.
It was a big-time kick. About the 12-yard line is where Brooks West made the fair catch. And so they'll have 1:39 remaining with a timeout left, down 20. 52-yard punt turned in there, and now Peyton Mansell, let's see if he can put together about a 100-second drive is what they'd like.
Really enjoyed talking with Mansell this week. He talked about all the transfers that come to Abilene Christian. It made him even more comfortable. You know, his roommate is Pop, the Nebraska transfer, Jordan Pop. So a lot of guys in the same situation. They went FBS. It didn't work out the way they had hoped. And then they get a chance, a lot of them, to come back to their home state of Texas and still play Division I ball.
Yep. Mansell's one of his closest friends, Remington Lutz, at tight end on their squad as well. Tyrese White left side. Not much doing there. 90 seconds remaining. A timeout left for Abilene Christian.
So I think because of the punt, and it was a great one by Harding, Abilene Christian going to be a little bit more conservative here since they're so backed up. I mean, a first down run is not an indicator that they're really trying to score here.
Yeah. Motion there from the aforementioned Remington loose, and this is blown up. So Army might think about taking one of their timeouts here, Ross, with third down coming up. Andre Carter on the stop there for the Black Knights.
Timeout.
Yeah, they
Army.
did.
They did.
I agree with that
half.
decision.
Be a 30-second
Sure do.
charge timeout.
So 1:04 to go. Each team with a timeout left.
So maybe Artis Hobbs, oh, there's Christian Anderson out of the tent, by the way, but maybe Artis Hobbs could see the future. And he was thinking that far ahead that I'll go out of bounds now so that after we stop them on 3 downs, we can get the ball back with more time.
The old adage of within time, more things are revealed, I suppose. Maybe fall under that umbrella. We'll see. Anderson looks like he's making his way in with the training staff. He is making his way into the locker room to get in there, get a head start with 64 seconds remaining. So we showed you earlier when he was injured. If you weren't with us, he was injured in the last home game against Louisiana Monroe. He did come back in this game, but they're taking him in early. Abilene Christian 0 of 6, Ross, on third down. They need 12 here. Connell in motion. Mansell on the run. Peyton Mansell fires, and in the neighborhood was McConnell. Couldn't make the catch, so fourth down coming up here with 57 seconds remaining in the half.
And that saves Army one of their timeouts.
Yeah.
It's a bootleg. Amadeo West tried to keep him inside. He couldn't. Mansell had to throw it behind McConnell a little bit because of where Morrison was.
Yep.
You know, that's one where Mansell really didn't have another place to put it, because if he led McConnell, he would have thrown it right to Malcolm Morrison. So that was really the only throw Mansell had. It was a smart one.
Logan Burke from his own goal line will step into this one. Not a very long punt. Army's going to have great field position at the 45-yard line, as Tyrell Robinson was under that. The 45-yard punt turned in with 50 seconds to go for Army and a timeout in their back pocket if need be.
See Brent Davis there. I think he's done an excellent job as Army's offensive coordinator. You think about where the program was 5-6 years ago and where they've been the last few years.
Perennially one of the best rushing teams in the nation in their time in the 7 years Army's been here with the Monken regime. So 50 seconds to play in the half. A timeout left for the Black Knights. Jones cuts inside. Greeted and dropped there. The tackle made by Jack Gibbons. Clock moving.
Army's got to hurry up. They still have that one timeout left. That's an interesting play call on first down.
35 seconds to play in the half. To the outside. Roberts the catch. Had a strong game last week in that department, did Roberts. Stopping the clock with 31 seconds to play in the half.
They'd like to get to at least the 32-yard line for Sawyers to have a chance at a 49-yard field goal. It's the yard line that Coach Monken had told us a couple times this season. Although really in an end of half situation, Ben, he might let them try it from a little bit further.
Why not?
It's the end of the half.
Yeah. Career-long 43-yard field goal earlier in this game for Landon Sawyers. Eclipsing his previous long of 42 a couple of years ago. And there's a good play as Jones dropped in the backfield with authority. Caderon Johnson getting in there to make the play. Loss of 8.
The third and final charge, timeout of the half.
Right side of your screen, working against Luke McCleary.
Timeout.
Johnson just comes right off the edge.
Big play.
Left side of your screen. Jones tried to step up, but it was too late. You know, that historically has been an area where Army really struggles, which is drop back passing, pass protection. They just don't do it very often. And that's often the result when they drop back pass and the defense can just pin their ears back.
So the ball at the 45-yard line of Abilene Christian. 4th and 10. There is Jamel Jones. That's Mike Vitti, fullbacks coach, on the right of him. Jeff Monken on the left, but Vitti doing a lot of the talking in there.
Right, so Army could punt it here.
Yep.
Or they could say, you know what? Let's take some time off the clock and try to get the 10 yards here. And it looks like that's what they're going to do.
Sure does.
I agree with this because even if they don't get it, there's less than 20 seconds left. Their defense has been playing awesome. The likelihood Abilene Christian would get points on the other side is small. And Abilene Christian going to call timeout.
And they are out of timeouts. Both teams have burned all three.
Timeout, ACU. Their final charge timeout of the half. It'll be a 30-second timeout.
So Adam Dorrell and his guys will talk things over. We'll step aside for a quick timeout. 4th down for Army. Late stages of the quarter when we come. 24 seconds to play in the half. Army on 4th down. They're 1 of 1 so far in the game. Jones on the run, flings it near side with the toes down.
I think he's short, though.
He is short based on what I'm seeing for a spot here, Ross. You're right.
Wow, they're saying 1st down. It looked like he had to get to the sticks, and he's short of it.
He needed the 35. They've got him spotted shy of said 35, so they're going to have to take a look at this, I have to believe.
The head linesman was pointing like it was a 1st down, but they got to get to the 35, and he didn't get there.
Right.
The ruling on the field was that the player did not make the line to gain. 1st and 10, ACU.
Yes. The right call made there.
Yeah.
Yep. So he needs a 35.
Nice throw and catch, by the way.
Sure was.
But he's not even close to the 35-yard line. I mean, he's
3/4 of a yard short.
Yeah.
Brandon Walters. Sure was. A nice catch, but it was short. Both teams out of timeout. Mansell's going to take a snap here and take the knee, and that'll do it for the opening half. Army's going to head to the locker room on top 23-3. Ross, your takeaways that stand out the most from half number 1.
Well, a solid performance by Army so far, but Abilene Christian's hanging. It looked like at one point they were about to get run off the field. That's not what happened. They got a couple stops there and showed they might be able to make this a ball game in the second half.
First of 2 games here on Armed Services Saturday on CBS Sports Network. That's the end of the first half. Army on top by a score of 23-3 on Abilene Christian. You're watching college football right here on CBS Sports Network, presented proudly by the Home Depot. It is Armed Services Saturday. We kick things off. Navy Air Force coming your way at 6 Eastern. Time now to take a look at our first half stats brought to us today by Your Exchange. First downs highlighted. Ross, anything else grabbing your eyes to this point?
And that's the main one, is that it's not really that lopsided. For a 23-3 score, Army doesn't even have double as many first downs as Abilene Christian. So they're hanging a little bit better than I think some people thought.
All right, so we welcome you up to our broadcast position. Ross Tucker, Ben Holden, Tina Servasio is down on the field. We'll hear from Tina once we get going here momentarily in the 3rd quarter. For Army, what stood out for them the most for you?
Well, they took advantage of some mistakes. The bad punt by Abilene Christian, the onside kick. But other than that, I don't think Army really moved the football as effectively as they wanted to in the first half.
And for Abilene Christian, they went for it, 3 times on 4th down. I like the strategy when you're playing against a team that does not often give the ball back relatively quickly. So we'll see if that trend continues. Take a look at the moving pictures. Ross, what stands out? What do we have to look at from half number 1 that folks need to see?
Well, it started out with a Santa McCoy touchdown. That happens pretty often, actually. He's the touchdown maker. Then Jamel Jones, after Anderson got hurt, he had a touchdown and a long run. Same play. Quarterback zone to the right. That led to the Jacoby Fire the Buchanan's touchdown. As Army was rolling for a while there, but they kind of stalled midway through the 2nd quarter.
Well, in the first half, Abilene Christian put up 105 yards total. Army put up 167 in the half. Rushing for 148. There's Zapata puts the foot into it as toe meets leather to begin the second half. Fair catch called for by Robinson inside of the 5. Christian Anderson left the game in the first half. Tina, what can you tell us?
All right, so I don't see Christian Anderson on the field right now. At the half, head coach Jeff Monken said he didn't really have any information. Nothing official from Army right now. But you know what? He said he was proud of Jamel Jones and that supporting cast, what they've been able to do offensively. Except at the end of the half, Monken was pretty upset that they weren't able to put points on the board. Now, Abilene Christian Adam Dorrell, he says he's proud of his defense's effort. He said that onside kick, though, was a game changer offensively. They just got to get rid of those negative plays and move the ball.
Great stuff, Tina. They do. And again, I like that strategy. You're playing this Army team, especially you're playing them here at home. You had better find a way to generate. Tyrell Robinson gets some space. Robinson over the 50, dropped just shy of the 40 of Abilene Christian. Mr. Electricity with a big run to start the third quarter for Army.
Well, that'll help that 9.8 yards per carry average. Here he comes. It's the triple option. Jones pitches it. Nice block downfield by Cameron, the tight end. And Robinson knows what to do when he gets in the open field. Pure triple option right there. Jones attacked the line of scrimmage, makes the DN commit to him, pitches it, gets a good block from the tight end.
35-yard pickup for the freshman Tyrell Robinson. Robinson in motion. Jones will keep. Good block. He was dropped about the 33-yard line. Jordan Pop on the backside to make the tackle there in the opening minute here of the third quarter. The Army possessions. Well, they scored on their first 4, but from there, not so much.
Right, that's what I said about midway through the second quarter. They kind of stalled out, and I can just picture Jeff Monken at halftime saying, hey, we need to set the tone for this second half on this first drive, march it down the field, score, make sure Abilene Christian knows they are not in this ball game. They're off to a great start with these first couple plays here.
6 carries, 54 yards for the quarterback, Jamel Jones. Jones looking to throw, got Roberts wide open, drops it right in his hands. Army goes to the air, and Roberts, the touchdown catch. Jamel Jones spotted him, a 33-yard strike, spending that cannon money as Army increases it to a 26-point lead.
Roberts right here, he's gonna fake the block and then go. Right there. It's so hard, Ben. And I mean, it really is. You're the safety there. You're so used to having to attack the alley quickly. You think he's coming to block you. By the time you realize he's not, he's way past you. Easy touchdown.
And they're going for 2 here.
That means that's what the book says. That's what the analytics say.
Analytic championship analytics. Jones under center, Cade Bernard behind him. Jones gonna pitch it, Hobbs. Bernard with a block, Hobbs streaks in for the 2-point conversion. And it's now a 28-point lead at 31-3. Army takes 1:33 to begin the quarter, Ross. They made it look easy.
Play action pass when you're running the triple option can be absolutely deadly. And then a little wrinkle for Army on the 2-point conversion with the toss to Hobbs. What a great start to the second half.
College football on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by USAA. What you're made of, we're made for. By ServPro's Proactive Cleaning Program. Certified ServPro Clean, a higher standard of clean for your business. By The Exchange, welcoming home veterans to their exchange shopping benefits. And by KitKat, have a break, have a KitKat.
Beautiful West Point Saturday here on Armed Services Saturday here on the network. 31-3 Army. A lot of first on that play, Ross. Army's first passing touchdown of the season, the first passing touchdown in the career of Jamel Jones, and the first career touchdown catch for Michael Roberts, who last week in a career-long reception at a 23-yard catch was his career best, 3 for 46 in the game. I mentioned he was big for him in that department last week, and they found him there for a beautiful 33-yard touchdown play. 3 plays, 75 yards, took a minute 33.
Who gets to keep the ball?
He should.
In the NFL, no, I'm saying Jones' first touchdown pass.
Oh, who
and
gets?
Roberts' first touchdown catch.
That's tough.
I don't think at Army they let him keep the ball.
Who do you go with if you had to pick one?
Oh, it's the receiver, I think.
I would go there.
Jones ran for a couple touchdowns.
That's right.
You don't know when Roberts will score again.
He may never score another one here.
Yeah, Jones already has a different touchdown this game. Let him keep that ball.
Right. That's the side I would go on. So Abilene Christian goes back to work. Peyton Mansell. Open target, puts it right into the hands of Tyrese White. He'll pick up about 2 on first down. So now a 28-point deficit facing Mansell in this Wildcats offense.
I don't think they'll really change anything. You know, they've moved the ball at times, but I think it'll continue to be up-tempo, quick passing attack.
In the first half, he was 9 of 18 for 55 yards. His longest completion, 13. And he was sacked twice, including on the first series of the game when they went for it basically at midfield. Here's McConnell, and McConnell lost the football. And Abilene Christian, I believe, got that back. The receiver behind the play, indeed, and it was fallen on right there by Dax Neese, sophomore wideout.
Good blocking downfield by Neese and Clark, and Marquell Broughton.
Yep.
He is really impressive. I mean, every game so far this year, Broughton's been able to do it. I think Eric Smith might have been out of bounds when he tapped it back inside anyway.
That was quite a play in its own right, whether it was in or out. Blitz coming off the end. Mansell sees it, takes a shot way downfield and way in front of Brooks West there.
Looking top of your screen for Jordan Brooks West, and he was open.
Sure was.
Just not the right throw there by Peyton Mansell. Could have hit him a little earlier, or certainly put the ball more to the outside, give him a chance to make a play on the football because they had him open.
Second down at 10 for the Wildcats. 2013, their program made the move from the Division II ranks. Heavy shot delivered there. Coming up was McDuffie to lower the boom there on Dax Neese. But a first down catch nevertheless for Abilene Christian.
They've done well with some of this boot action, some of the play action. Mansell looks off the safety, and McDuffie, wow. I mean, he's known as the fastest player on the team. Not afraid to put his shoulder in there either. I like that. Head out, shoulder in. That's how you teach it.
Gain of 11. Mansell looking to throw again. Pressure coming. He can't get away as everything collapsed on him, and Army able to get in there and drop him in the backfield.
This Army defense is relentless. Watch the right side of your screen. They bring 2 linebackers and 2 guys from the secondary. McDonald gets a hand on him.
Third sack of the day by the Army defense. Loss of 7. Second and 17 now. Hand off. They'll try the left side. Eric Smith on the ball carrier. Conrad Perry, first time we've called his name here today in that backfield for Abilene Christian.
And really their best run of the day.
Yeah, you're right.
Junior from Pinehurst, Texas. It was interesting talking to Coach Doyle about recruiting Texas. He said, yeah, there's a lot of good players here, but everybody comes here.
Yep.
And so we think we got a guy, we feel good about him, in a group of 5 school, a Conference USA school offers him, and that's usually where they go at that point.
8th third down conversion attempt of the day, and they are 0 for 8. Pressure again from Nate Woody's Army group, and injured player there for Abilene Christian.
Wyatt Tate, the right tackle. They play a couple of right tackles, Zach Terry and Wyatt Tate.
Been a couple weeks since this Abilene Christian team played. They opened up back in September the 19th against UTEP. Here's a look, Ross.
He's right there is Wyatt Tate, the right tackle, redshirt freshman. See what happens. The pressure really came from the other side. Nice job with his set there against Amadeo West. Oh,
oof,
man.
The dreaded.
That is always how it happens, it seems, Ben.
Yeah.
I've told just before, I tore my right MCL twice. Both times, junior year of college, rookie year in the NFL, both times it was somebody else ran into the outside of my right leg.
Tough way to go, and they're tending to him. We're going to take a timeout as well with 10.5 remaining here in the third quarter. Army on top by 28.
I've been given 30.
So during the injury timeout to Wyatt Tate of Abilene Christian, Ross, they look back. Peter Voss, the replay official, looked back at this for a possible fumble.
It's close. You know, the rule says if you have firm grip with your hand on the ball as it's coming forward, any point after that, it's an incompletion. And it was pretty close. I don't think that there's enough there to overturn it, though, and to say it was a fumble. Clearly, Andre Carter, who had a great pass rush, by the way, and hit his arm, was able to hit it. But it looked to me like Mansell still had a pretty good grip of it as he was coming forward.
Well, it was the call on the field that stood, of course. So now they bring on the punter, Burke. Fourth punt of the day. Had a 3-yard punt in the first half. Averaging 27.7. Trying to pin Army here. Fair catch called for and made. The 8-yard line by Tyrell Robinson. Time now to take a look at our Serve Pro first responder. And, well, he did respond. Jamel Jones has run for one, Ross, and he's chucked one as well.
And this is what it's like when you're in the military at times as well, right? You got to step up and fill your role when you are called upon. That's what Jones has done. His first touchdown pass right down Main Street to Michael Roberts. What a luxury it is to have a backup quarterback that can come in and play as well as Jones has in this game.
It was right down Thayer Boulevard, wide open. Still getting used to nobody being at the games and on the mornings here on Post when we wake up at the hotel. It's just the way it is right now. Good job by the front there, up front there by Abilene Christian. Second time we've called that young man's name, Kadron Johnson, today. He made a nice play there.
I'm just glad they're playing, Ben.
Me too.
I'm just glad we have games to call. But I do miss seeing all the tailgaters out there, all the cars parked in those fields right when you come through Thayer Gate. Well, it's special.
Buffalo Soldier Field, and right across from where we stay, just off Post, not technically on, but it's as close as you can get. Great to have you with us today, wherever you're watching, with Ross Tucker, Tina Cervasi, all of our crew. Ben Holden with you here, and this is going to bring up a 3rd and long. Gabe Bernard the carry there.
And this is an example where I feel like Abilene Christian is doing a better job than Middle Tennessee State did and Louisiana Monroe did. You know, Army's not getting the 3 to 5 yards per carry, you know, on the B-back dives there. They're doing a pretty good job and putting them in 3rd and long here again.
Right there with you. Second. 3rd down conversion attempt they've had. They got that one. This is number 3. And again, a pretty good job there by Abilene Christian. That's going to force a punt.
That's a pretty conservative call there, too.
Yeah.
3rd and 7 to just run the midline dive there with the fullback. I don't think Jeff Monk is going to be real happy about that 3 and out.
I would not think.
Good job, Abilene Christian.
Yes.
Really good job. I mean, they're down 28. They're not able to get much going offensively, but those guys on defense, they're still playing for Clint Brown.
Harding on, boots it away. They're caught at the 39-yard line for Abilene Christian. Trailing by 28. Peyton Mansell and the offense will come back on here with 8:22 to go in the third quarter.
Being part of the Army-Navy game is unlike anything I've ever experienced in my entire life. It's a complete privilege, and every single year you look forward to it, to bring that energy, play for this team, play for the school, play for the U.S. Army.
Only 70 days to go in the countdown to America's game, the Army-Navy game, presented proudly by USAA on CBS Sports. Mike Johnson, we had a chance to chat with him yesterday, Ross. I know you love talking to those linemen, but you really like talking to him. I know you did.
Well, there were two things that stood out. One, I said, any thoughts on Abilene Christian? He said, no, sir. We focus on ourselves here, our attitude and our effort. I said, oh, okay.
Here's Tyrese White, left side. Good pickup there on first down. And so we didn't have the game last week. It was at Cincinnati, but this went viral. Mike Johnson, right there, number 59, came off to fullbacks coach Mike Vitti. Just fired up. He wasn't trying to hurt him. And look at Vitti. It's like, what just happened here? Mike Vitti is a true American patriot and warrior in every single sense. An outstanding human being. Mansell throws it away, and I texted him after that happened, and his reply was, I'm not quoting him here, but it was, look, Ben, appreciate the text, but our sentiments are with a loss, not my head and my face right now. That's just the selflessness of the people that come from this place. Amazing.
Mike Vitti is tough as nails from Berwick and the coal region of Pennsylvania. He's not going to let a little accidental headbutt slow him down.
That's right. Abilene Christian 0 of 8 on third down. They're 2 for 20 this season. Brooks West trying to change that, stretching, and he's going to be shy of it. Ball came out. Caleb Johns got it there, but
I think he got it. I think they're giving it to him. They're going to give him the 49.
Yep.
Good effort.
Sure was.
By Brooks West to stretch that forward, get a first down. This has really been their most successful plays all game. Reaches it out. Definitely down. Ground had that ball pop out.
So from their own 49, they started this drive. It was their best starting field position of the day. After a good punt, 45 yards from Harding. Another pitch catch, and Brooks West, speedy, going to pick up 9 there on first down. Jabari Moore on the tackle.
Good looking start to this drive right now for Abilene Christian.
Third stop in the career of Brooks West. Played at FAU, he played at SMU, and now at ACU.
He's got his initials down. He's got a lot of letters.
A lot to manage. And the sweep, and a good job to pick up the first down, and then a little bit more by Darius Lewis, the freshman out of Austin, Texas.
He's another guy they said is electric with the ball in his hands. 5'8", 152 pounds. I got to tell you, watch this, the jet sweep. Watch Radigan. Radigan reads it and explodes, just not quite able to get enough of him to slow him down. But Ben, I don't ever remember during a college football game seeing a guy listed as weighing less than 160 pounds. I mean, 152, I think that was 8th grade for me.
Yeah.
Then again, I wasn't as fast as Darius Lewis.
Yeah, makes 2 of us. Yeah, the offensive coordinator, Josh Lamberson, said he's lightning in a bottle. Showed a little bit of it there. Free rush at Mansell. Mansell gets away, throws against the grain. What a throw. It is caught and down to about the 20-yard line. What a play there as he finds one of his main men, Kobe Clark.
You say what a throw. I'm going to say, how did he see him? I mean, Kobe Clark's right here. He's going to end up all the way over there. But Mansell, as he scrambles, how does he even know Clark's open? Look at him look all the way back. I mean, he broke a lot of rules there, but I don't know. Sometimes it's okay to break rules.
Little playground attitude there. 13-yard pickup. In the red zone are the Wildcats of Abilene Christian. Good run right side. Tyrese White, good pickup there down to, I'm going to spot him down about the 10-yard line.
He's a little slow to get up.
Yeah, he is. They are not deep at all in that department on their football team, favoring his right leg, and they're going to come out to 10 to him.
They weren't sure if Jemiah Dobbins, the backup running back, the freshman, was even going to play today. He was a game-time decision.
Here's a look.
Tough to see anything there.
Tackler maybe fell on him there, looked like.
Took kind of a late shot there from Eric Smith unintentionally.
Broughton was the one that tackled him and wrapped him up, took him to the ground. Both those calves getting a stretch.
When they're rubbing both calves,
yep,
a lot of times it looks like a guy's cramping, because I didn't see anything here. Watch his lower body. See if anybody rolls up on him. No, not yet. Maybe on the left leg a little bit, but
yeah,
I don't think so.
I don't know. It looked more to me the right leg when Broughton came down, but nevertheless, they are helping him up. He's now on his feet. Make his way to the sideline here, but good run there. Set him up at 1st and goal as Abilene Christian trying to get their first touchdown of the day here.
Yeah, they've got
28.
Sorry, Ben. They got some momentum here.
Yep.
So it's a little unfortunate that White was injured on that play. They've stopped them on defense. They're moving the ball offensively. I think Coach Doral wants them to keep going. Look, it's year 4 for him. They went from 2 wins his first year to 6 wins his second year. He was a little disappointed. They took a step back to only 5 wins last year, but he's trying to build something like he built at Northwest Missouri State. So every snap of this game matters. Every experience they get going against a program like Army makes a big difference.
8th play of the drive. So 6 first downs already in the second half for Abilene Christian. They had all that in the first half. And we haven't even played an entire quarter yet. Here's Dobbins. Dobbins had a seam, but he is dropped shy. Bonsu tracked him down from behind at Kobina Bonsu. Red Zone today brought to you by Verizon. You see what they've done. Their second trip, they got the field goal from Zepeda back in the first half, and that's it. But they're knocking on the door here.
I'm a little surprised they've had back-to-back good runs. Cincinnati only averaged 2 yards per carry last week. Abilene Christian's got a couple good runs in a row. I would do it again. Why not?
Army came into the weekend 5th in the country in run defense. Holding both of their. There's a flag down. Mansell rolls, fires, and is caught by Clark. There is a flag, as I said, right at the goal line. But Clark, the touchdown catch for the time being for Abilene Christian. And it counts. So offsides on Army, and Kobe Clark and Abilene Christian get a touchdown to make it 31-9 with 4:18 to go in the third. 3-yard catch.
They've done this a couple times. Mansell takes it and kind of sprints out. It's a crossing route for Clark, bottom of your screen. Hits him right there on the money. Easy pitch and catch there. Really good drive by Abilene Christian, and I love what I'm seeing from their sideline, Ben. Sometimes teams get down and defeated playing against the Black Knights. These guys are still up.
And Zepeda's kick goes off the upright and no good. There is a flag. They ran into him, I believe. Right in the zip code of where he kicked it from. Jerry McGinn, our referee, we'll get the word from him. As I said, running into the kicker, yep.
Right, half the distance. Be interesting to see if Abilene Christian goes for 2 here now.
Morrison diving in there, Russ.
Yeah, you got the ball on the 1.5 yard line now. Doesn't make a big difference between being down 21 or 20.
Yep. Ennis, the snapper. Burke will hold. Zepeda will try and tack on the point after, and this one is perfect. There's another flag down.
I think Army jumped the count again.
Asking Adam Doral what he wants to do.
Offside. Number 2, defense. Penalties decline. Try for point is good.
Rough
Media
couple plays
timeout.
for Malcolm Morrison there, running into the kicker and then goes offsides. 31-10. Peyton Mansell making his parents proud. They're West Point grads. His first touchdown pass in an Abilene Christian uniform. It's 31-10. 31-10. They have officially called the touchdown by Abilene Christian a 2-yard touchdown pass. First in the Abilene Christian career Peyton Mansell to Kobe Clark. Capped the 9-play 61-yard drive, 404. And speaking of Mansell, his numbers on the left, it's our Sonic QB comparison today. And Jamel Jones in there. Christian Anderson has been ruled out. But Ross, what have your thoughts been on both these guys?
Well, I think they've both done a nice job. I mean, Jones with the touchdown pass, he's run the offense effectively as a backup quarterback, and Mansell missed some throws early, but that last drive was his best drive of the game. And as you would expect from a kid who grew up watching Army football and whose parents both went to West Point, he's just going to keep playing hard and keep playing better as the game goes.
Yep. In the half, he's 7 of 10 for 59 yards and a touchdown. Here's Tyrell Robinson. Robinson trying to get through there, slithering his way out over the 30-yard line goes the speedy and electrifying freshman Tyrell Robinson, a return of 25 yards.
Thought it was interesting, by the way, Mansell told us he was not recruited by Army. Never heard from them, but he really is not the runner that they're looking for at that position.
No.
You know, he's in the right offense for him. Can't really see him running the triple option at Army, so I think it worked out for everybody.
Yeah. And I said to him at the end when you were done talking with him, I said, man, you are clearly born and raised by people that went to West Point, no doubt about it, because he's incredibly polite, incredibly kind, grateful, and very humble, in my opinion. It was really fun getting to know him and his family a little bit this past week. To the 35-yard line, this run goes.
Between Mansell and Mike Johnson, Jabari Moore, the 3 players we talked to this week, I definitely set a record with people calling me sir. That's for sure.
Makes you feel old, doesn't it?
It really does. I know it's a sign of respect, but
yes, it is. Yep, I know what you mean, but that is just the way they are. It's great to see that in the youth of America and the great leaders on both sides of the ball here. Here's Jones, open space, got a first down and tripped up near the midfield stripe. He was dropped there on the play by Brian Bullock, the junior out of Austin, Texas. First down Army, though. They'll move the chains. Gain of 17 for Jones.
That's that quarterback zone play. Really been their most effective play of the day so far. And they got the unbalanced line to the right. That means there's 3 offensive linemen to the right of the center.
Come this way, Jones finds a hole. Jamel Jones slipping through there. Into the open field goes Jones, and he breaks a tackle and takes it in. What an effort from Jamel Jones, a 49-yard host call, and Army stretches the lead to 37-10.
We've seen that a couple times today, Ben, where they run to the short side, the weak side. Jones with the nice cutback breaks 1 tackle there. Almost got caught from behind, but he's got those strong legs, 5'10", 210. Look at those legs. That's exactly the answer that the Black Knights needed.
Brian Bullock thought he had him, but Jones with those legs, as you said, partner, kept on trucking, and Landon Salyers able to put that one up and through. Jones now, Ross, 10 carries for 124, showing off those rings, and 2 touchdowns on the ground, 1 through the air.
Short side, good block by Cameron, the tight end. Robinson got someone. Mike Johnson, always so good at the point of attack. And I love how Jones able to shrug that off and keep going. Usually you get caught there.
Waved one off, kept going.
Look at the monitor.
I was going to say, he's looking up at the Jumbotron. Yep, I love that. That'll be a great picture, I'm sure. Danny Wild, their team photographer, does great work. Probably had that one perfectly framed. And Jones has come in and played more than he's played this season. We did that game in Hawaii last year on December, the last day of November, the first day of December with the time change and all that. But that was the last time he's played this much. He's played in the other games, but he hasn't played as much because Brent Davis is seemingly running 2 or 3 other guys after him.
You know, on the one hand, we talked earlier about Anderson and taking the shot that he did and how Army quarterbacks don't slide. On the other, it seems like they always have 2, 3, 4 guys that are ready to go.
They sure do. Next man up, right? Taken by Brooks West. He dropped at the 26-yard line. Time now to take a look at our Ram trucks. Where are they now? It takes a look at one of the most prolific quarterbacks in Army history, Lehman Hall. He holds the school record for most career touchdown passes with 38 in his time here along the banks of the Hudson. He is slated to be inducted into the school's Hall of Fame. He currently resides in an Atlanta suburb with his wife Kim, who is the daughter of former Army coach Homer Smith. Loves to fish, garden, cook, and enjoys time with his family. So we salute you. This one nearly intercepted twice. Morrison and then Broughton, they both had their mitts on it there and couldn't reel it in.
And both those guys have another year or two after this. Watch the right side of your screen. Morrison undercuts the out route, gets a piece of it. Here comes Broughton. Oh, Broughton's like a ball magnet.
He is.
I love Broughton. I mean, he's only a sophomore. He's going to be fun to watch the next few years. He's a stud.
Yep, right there with you on that. Cunningham back there, very good player in that secondary for Nick Woody. Good throw there on the move. McDuffie on the tackle there. Good throw by Mansell to L.J. McConnell.
I like how they spin Mansell out, get him on the move. He's very comfortable throwing on the move, and you really want to do that against Army with all their exotic blitz packages and the pressure that they get on quarterbacks. I think Dorrell and offensive coordinator Josh Lamberson have done a nice job of moving the passing point. What that does is, you know, the defensive linemen can't always know exactly where to expect the quarterback to be when they're rushing.
In 12 on that pass play on the ground here. And there's the young man they call lightning in a bottle, Darius Lewis. 152 of him. Armed Forces football today proudly sponsored by USAA. Good pick up there for him. Under 2 to play in the quarter. 38-10 Army in front. Mansell the toss. Army breaking through there in a hurry. Clogging that play up, forcing a loss on the play. Flying in there, one of the first there was Nick Stokes.
Yeah, and it really looked to me like Eric Smith made the play. Stokes made the tackle. Smith able to defeat the block of the right tackle and force it back inside where Stokes could chase it down. That's one of the things that Army told us that they're really happy with. They bring in some of these second string guys like Stokes. They've been able to do a nice job. They've got depth in the front seven especially.
Sure do. Abilene Christian 1 of 9 on third down. Converted their only one in the last drive. This one too low for Tyrese White to catch. More on the coverage. It's going to bring up 4th and 7.
I don't think you would have gotten the first down anyway, but you got to put that on him and give him that opportunity. That's one Mansell would like to have back. He's missed a few throws today that I think he would expect to be able to make.
Sure, he'd tell you that too. 44 seconds remain in the half, or in the quarter, I should say. Logan Burke on to punt. Fair catch. 22-yard line by Tyrell Robinson. Tonight at 6 Eastern, 2 more service academies hit the gridiron with the first game in the Commander-in-Chief Trophy Series as Navy takes on Air Force. Armed Services Saturday continues right here on CBS Sports Network. And the games and the highlighted particulars, Navy won it last year. Army had won the last 2 prior to that. Navy Air Force kicking things off in leg number 1, culminating with Army-Navy December 12th on CBS.
How quickly can I get home after this game to watch that next one, Navy and Air Force? Cannot wait.
I'm going to walk basically back down the hill to the hotel, and I'll be tuning that one in for sure, staying here the night. 30 seconds and counting left in the third quarter. Buchanan the carry, Green the tackle.
You would expect Army to not snap it here.
Right.
There's no reason for them to. They have a 28-point lead. They don't need to run another play here.
Buchanan picked up 5. Interesting. They don't need to, but they did. To the outside, and they Put it, look at Robinson. My goodness. The feet and the athletic ability this guy has, off the charts good. Final play of the third quarter after a 19-yard pickup. Army on top of Abilene Christian, 38-10. You're watching college football on CBS Sports Network, presented by the Home Depot.
When we see them, what they do, then rank them.
Yeah. Start of the fourth with Ross Tucker, Tina Savasio down on the field. My name is Ben Holden, getting rid of that football nicely right towards the end of that before he was taken down was Jones. He put it into the hands of Tyrell Robinson. You're just joining us and you're an Army fan. Jones in the ball game. Christian Anderson injured and removed in the first half of this game.
Man, every time Robinson gets the ball,
I'm telling you,
you kind of hold your breath. Brent Davis told us between Alston and Robinson and Parrish, who played more last week, it's probably the best group of freshman skill guys they've had since he's been here.
Yeah, Isaiah Alston, their outstanding wide receiver, not going today. Send it down the Hudson to New York City. Brent Stover for an update. Brent.
Guys, Texas at the goal line, down 4 to TCU, under 3 minutes left. Keonta Ingram fumbles. They made mistake after mistake all day, the Longhorns did. Wouldn't get the ball back. TCU has now beaten the Longhorns in 6 of the last 7, guys.
Impressive stuff, man. I mean, Texas probably, by all accounts, should have lost last week, right, Ross?
They should have. Yeah, they were down by 15 with like 2 minutes left. But that's incredible, that stat about how often TCU beats Texas.
Yep. Gary Patterson, what a run he's had. Jones taking a shot. He's already thrown one. Touchdown! And broken up. Good-looking throw there as he was looking downfield to Sean Eckert.
It was a beautiful throw, but it was just better coverage by Coy Richardson. Watch Eckert, going to run a deep post here. Jones with the play action fake. He's open. Watch the catch-up speed here. Right there.
Yep.
Good job by Richardson.
And the OC?
Could feel that banging over here.
Jones 4 of 6 throwing it, 52 in the touchdown of 33 yards to Michael Roberts. Here's Jones. Good pick up there on second down to set him up. No, they've got the first down. He's watching the official on the far side. They've got it. He picked it up. Good run by Jones.
I've been impressed enough by Jones, Ben, that I wonder if he's earning more playing time even when Anderson's healthy.
Good point.
I mean, Jones is... Look, opportunities in life are rarely perfect. You don't know when you'll be called upon, but Jones is really making the most of this, and I don't see a whole lot of drop-off as Army goes with the unbalanced line to the left again here, but so far today they've been running back to the weak side to the right a couple times.
Yep, see if they do here, which would be the boundary side. Instead, they go to that overloaded side. Anthony Adkins with the run there. Move the sticks again. Armed Services Football is proudly supported by Verizon. Well, Jamel Jones, last rush he had 2 plays ago, 10 yards. He's got 12 carries, Ross, for 141 and 2 on the ground.
He's having a great day.
Really is. Best in his young career here for the Black Knights. Adkins in at the B-back spot, the fullback spot. Adkins, you can hear that all the way up here, was greeted immediately by Jack Gibbons, their outstanding senior. 200 tackles in his career, a semifinalist for the Campbell Trophy, the academic Heisman.
He's impressive in every way.
Yep.
Really enjoy watching his tape against UTEP. Watch him over here. He's going to close hard and make the play on the fullback. He's responsible for the fullback. So you're going to close hard. That's the guy they're optioning, really. Should have been a pull by Jamel Jones because they're not even trying to block Gibbons. If Gibbons closes hard like that, Jones supposed to pull the ball and take it around the edge himself.
6'4" and 240 he is. Here's Hobbs. Broke the tackle initially, but can't get away the second time. Good stick-to-itiveness there by Coy Richardson, the senior out of Angleton, Texas.
Another play by Richardson. That's twice on this drive. Watch, it will be the left side of your screen. Roll it, and you'll see him come in. He's going to defeat the block, get upfield right there. He takes on the blocker, rise upfield, makes the play. That is hard to do.
Charge.
Well done by Richardson.
Sure was. And that way, you've talked about it every game we've had. Brandon Walters, arguably their best blocking running back.
Yep. And you got to attack it. That's the key.
Timeout.
Well, timeout taken by Abilene Christian. Will quickly step aside as well. Army on top, 38-10.
After 8.
Still a long way to go in this one. 11-26. Army on top by 28 over Abilene Christian. Time now for a day in the life of a cadet, brought to us today by Verizon. Ross, you're always telestrate, and there he goes to work.
That's the one right there. I mean, I didn't take any classes that were that long. Fundamentals of Engineering Management and Design.
That's a mouthful.
I'm pretty confident they would not have let me into that class if they had that class at Princeton. I love seeing what the classes these guys take. I love to see their days. These are full days. Third down.
Dave Bernard, the Texas product. Here's Jones looking to throw. He's already thrown a touchdown pass into the end zone. Oh, it's caught, but he's out of bounds. Great effort to make the catch back there by Regan Donaldson, but he was well out.
He was out, but that's a heck of a play by Jones, too. Sees the open receiver, gets it there, catches it. Nope. He was clearly out.
Yep.
But Jones being able to make that throw on the move, again, I'm impressed. Look at the cheerleaders jumping for joy. Yeah! Yes!
Well, they're going to try a field goal here. You got Quinn Moretsky on, the freshman out of Honolulu, a 40-yard attempt. Good snap, good hold. The product of Honolulu is good. 40-yarder good. The lead is 31 now as Moretsky
Media
kicks his first career field goal at Army. Push-up time. 11 and change left in the ball game. Army up 41-10.
College football on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by Mercedes-Benz. The best or nothing. By MCOR. Build, power, service, protect. By The Exchange. And by Navy Federal Credit Union. Our members are the mission.
So that is Lance Barrow. He's on the right. Lance was in the pictures. You saw him framed in the middle. He was a center for Abilene Christian back when they were an NAIA program. I spoke to him for quite a while this morning before the game. He's in his 45th year of working for CBS Sports. He started, get this, you ready for this, Ross? He said, Ben, my first job, I was a junior in college at Abilene Christian, and I was Pat Summerall's runner. His first Masters was 1977. I'm a huge golf guy. Love that. He said the most famous guy he played with that played in the National Football League was Wilbert Montgomery.
I was just going to say that.
Yep.
Wilbert Montgomery.
There you go, man.
The most famous Wildcat alum.
Yep.
Star for the Eagles in the early 80s when they went to the Super Bowl with Ron Jaworski under Dick Vermeil.
Yep. Harold Carmichael.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lance looked awesome in that picture.
He did.
He looked like a 70s O-line stud right there.
Yeah, he was a center. He said, I didn't play much, Ben, but I was on the team and taught him a lot of great lessons, prepared him for 45 years working for CBS Sports. Pretty awesome. He'll be doing the Masters, producing the Masters. Nobody's ever said this before. Next month in November. Catch made by McConnell. Under 11 to go in the ball game. Peyton Mansell. Touchdown pass earlier in this half, a 2-yarder. To Kobe Clark, first in his career at Abilene Christian.
A lot of second-string guys out there for Army right now. We mention it whenever they're up big. Such an advantage for them.
Yeah.
To get these guys some quality playing time against an opponent like Abilene Christian.
Sure is. Being able to do that in this now their 4th game, with the exception of the Cincinnati game. They really didn't do that. But the 3 here at home, they certainly have.
And I thought, that Cincinnati game was fun to watch.
Was.
They were disappointed. They thought they could have played better, but Brent Davis said it's the best D-line they went against, and he included Ohio State. He said, in terms of stuff in the run and what those guys were doing, they were extremely impressed by the Bearcats last week, especially defensively.
Yep. Well, you and I know, and anyone that follows this team, this offense, you get a good push and a couple guys in the middle of the defensive front, you can really make a mess of things. Good play there by Mansell to find McConnell. Slow to get up, but he makes the catch. That'll move the chains for the Wildcats with under 10 to go in the ball game.
Number one, the middle of three receivers going to run an out route here. And Mansell's so good throwing on the move.
He is.
He's got a little Mansell in him. Mansell's got a little
Johnny football.
Got a little
Peyton
Mansell.
football.
They call him Pete, though. Evidently, he heard his parents say,
yes,
go Pete.
Yeah. From the Army 46. Toss here, short range touch for White. Talking about Peyton Mansell and his family. Tina, you and I had a great time talking with his parents. What else can you tell us?
Yeah, we need to get to the bottom of how his parents met here at West Point. Okay, so they met their junior year, and you mentioned how his dad, Mike, is a hockey player. Well, he played hockey.
Yep.
His mother, Kim, was a guard on the women's basketball team. But unfortunately, Kim told me they were in the training room a lot with injuries because the rink and the court are in the same facility. So one day, Mike yelled over, "Hey, what you getting taped up?" And that's how it all began. Mike told me, though, there's nothing like a woman that could shoot a three-pointer, so he couldn't help himself. He had to inquire.
That's great stuff. Again, it was awesome talking to him. Here's a bullet thrown. This could be a touchdown. Peyton Mansell right on cue, making mom and dad proud. Zings one in there to Clark, his second of the day. The other one 2 yards. This one 46. And it's 41-16 now.
They fooled Markel Broughton, the safety, to that side. He thought it was a watch. He thinks it's a wide receiver screen real quick, and he tries to jump it. Watch, he sees it, reads it, uh-oh. That's just good play design. They tricked him. I mean, and Broughton knew it right away. He's aggressive. He's a ball hawk. He saw the inside receiver bow out like that. That's an indicator it's going to be a wide receiver screen, but they fooled him. Well done.
Zepeda tacks on the point after, and it's a 41-17 score now with 8:29 remaining. Number 2 with 2 touchdown passes on the season. Into the hands of their top guy last year, close to 90 catches for Kobe Clark, and he houses one. 8:29 left. We'll be back after this. A fresh coat of paint on that goalpost. 8:29 left in the fourth quarter. 41-17 Army after a 45-yard touchdown pass from Peyton Mansell. Now with 2 touchdowns in his Abilene Christian career, a 2-yarder to Clark, and the last one, that 45-yarder. Clark 4 grabs, 72, and the 2 touchdowns. Last scoring drive, 5 plays, 80 yards, took 235. And in the second half alone, Ross, 12 for 17 for that young man in the middle of your screen for 150 and the 2 scores.
He looks like he's having a blast.
He does.
It's got to be so fun after sitting on the bench at Iowa for a few years. Just get out there and play, man. You're at Mikey Stadium. He's watched so many games here over the years. Army has their hands team out there ready, Ben.
Sure do.
They're ready for potential onside.
Zepeda, and he squibs it. Robinson hustling up, takes it on the hop, and smartly just falls on it just shy of the 25-yard line. Time now to revisit your keys that we did back around 1:35, brought to us today by Pedigree.
Thought Abilene Christian did a pretty good job of withstanding the opening charge, and they have taken their shots both 4th down and deep down the field. Army's been much better with the B-backs this week than last week. Still probably not as well as they wanted to. And until that last play, they've done a really good job in coverage. That was their first real dropped coverage of the game.
Very good. So Army back on the offensive side. Jamel Jones with 141 yards on the ground. Leads the Army charge in the running game. Kobe Buchanan dragging about 3 guys. He'll pick up about 7. Let's get down to New York. Brent Stover for an update.
Guys, over on CBS, the Aggies got an interception off a tip ball, immediately converted into this Kellen Mond to Ryan Rennick touchdown. A&M was down 14-zip. They've come back to tied at 14 with Alabama.
All right, thank you, Brent.
Wow, awesome.
Yep. Game over on CBS right now. Buchanan, and he's got the first down. Tyrell Robinson, 78 on the ground. Santa McCoy, 38. Started this drive, they'd rushed for 319 yards. Yard and some change short of what they came in averaging at 320.3.
After that touchdown by Abilene Christian, Army keeping all their starters in the game right now. They're up by 24. I don't think Jeff Monken wants to take any chances at this point. Thought maybe he'd try to get some of their other quarterbacks some time. They don't want to get Jones hurt now.
Right. 20 first downs in the game for Army. Look out here. Tyrell Robinson got a ton of room and a blocker downfield. Robinson cuts back inside. Tyrell Robinson, ball came out. They're saying he was down at the 15-yard line. And he had a lead block out there. Brahim Murphy was out in front of 50-yard run, they say, by Tyrell Robinson.
Well, in this one, it was just so well blocked. We'll watch the very tail end of the play, see when it comes out. He came in, tried to rip it out. Hard to tell there, but it certainly looks like he was down before the ball popped out. Doesn't seem to be loose until he hits. Yeah, he definitely had
he was down. Yep. So Robinson with a career high 126 on the ground on 7 carries. There is Anthony Atkins, who's seen plenty of work here in the game, as has Buchanan. I mean, on the first drive, you go back to the opening drive of the game, there's Robinson. 7 last week, a $126 today, a career high at 94 in his debut. We saw him first weekend of September against Middle Tennessee. They have not had a player like him here in a long, long time. Here's Jones, going to keep it. Made one miss, dropped about the 5-yard line. Donovan Johnson, the sophomore out of Cypress, Texas, made the stop.
Kind of best of both worlds right now for Army. You want to score another touchdown, obviously, but run some clock as well. They're going to go with the unbalanced line to the left again. Could be fullback belly that way. Maybe get Atkins a touchdown.
6th play of the drive coming up here. Atkins, they called his number. Picks up a couple. 5.5 and counting left in this one. Army will be home next week to take on the Citadel. Abilene Christian will have 2 weeks to get ready for the next game they have, West Texas A&M.
Will be a lot of runs in that Citadel contest. They run the triple as well.
That game might be over in an hour and 50 minutes. Kind of like doing the Air Force game. They go quick, man. Get 6, maybe 7 possessions in those games, and that's about it.
Nice play there by Greg Green. He's made a couple nice plays. 5'8", 213. Junior linebacker from Houston. You know, that's the one thing that's been very clear about Adam Dorrell's bunch. There's really been no quit whatsoever in them. They're still playing hard. They're trying to have a goal line stand right here.
You're right. Atkins in the backfield. Atkins, there it is. Touchdown Army. Anthony Atkins totes it in for another score. And a touchdown against Middle Tennessee. Picks up his 2nd of the season, capping an 8-play, 76-yard drive that was 2 seconds shy of 4 minutes.
Fullback belly to the left. Great double team at the point of attack. Atkins goes right off the rear end of those down blocks by the left side of the line and waltzes into the end zone.
So Quinn Moretsky, a freshman who made his first career field goal earlier in this quarter, tacks on the point after. Those B-backs step it up today, and it was all set up, Ross, by Mr. Excitement, Mr. Electricity, Tyrell Robinson.
You get Robinson in the backfield, good things happen, and then Atkins gets his chance to get it to end zone today.
Any truth to the rumor that's where we're staying next week? Look at that place.
Well, I don't know. I'll have to ask my wife if you can come over or not.
I don't know if there's enough room. Coming up next, join the Inside College Football crew for an Armed Forces special. We'll look into the upcoming Navy and Air Force game and keep you updated on all the latest news around the country in college football right here on the 24-hour home of CBS Sports. The Corps Cadets, approximately 4,300. Just having a great, I mean, think of the release it is for them. So last week was the first time for the Army football players and the team that had been off post since June 1 when they came back.
I think they saw that they were on the big screen and they were like,
they know what they're doing.
Stop.
Yeah, they know what they're doing. Part of the requirement of being a cadet here at West Point, you have to attend the games. So let's take a look at some of the highlight headliners. Yeah, running away, appropriately titled by our group in the truck. And Jamel Jones, career high $138, 52 through the air. He's thrown a touchdown, ran for 2. And Tyrell Robinson, again, I can't say it enough. This kid he's as good of an athlete and running back I've ever seen here.
Sophomore and a freshman as well. Sophomore on the left, freshman on the right. They have recruited at an incredibly high level since Jeff Monken's been here. I know, just following Pennsylvania high school football, John Luce does an unreal job in the state of Pennsylvania.
Sure does. Now the associate head coach, still working with the linebackers, injured player. Can't see the number at this point, so I'm not gonna guess here. We'll wait. See Adam Dorrell on the left there. Just took his sunglasses off and let's attend to his player. Love what you said earlier, Ross, about his team. They haven't quit even though they're down 31 points. But they have really come here to play hard. And you got to come into this stadium. You better be playing to win. Don't just play to show up. Robert McKnight, one they're tending to.
He's struggling to put any weight on that right leg.
Sure is. They help him get off the field, and the offense will come back on here, try to put together another scoring drive if they can.
A little surprised, Ben, we haven't seen any of Samaje Davis.
I am too.
Today. I mean, he played a few series against UTEP at quarterback. They call him the jack of all trades. He can play running back, and now I think he is in the game in the slot to the right. So maybe they got a trick up their sleeve, or maybe they throw it to him.
Yeah. Swiss Army knife. That plays about 5 different spots. Listed as their punter as well. Has the ability, but hasn't done it today. So that's Tyrese White on the carry there.
Curious to see how Abilene Christian plays this the rest of the game. You know, they're down by 31. Obviously, never say never, but I also don't think you want to get any more guys injured in this contest.
They've had a handful of guys need help off the field. You're right. Peyton Mansell, 21 out of 35 for 205 and 2 through the air. To the air here. Into the hands of McConnell. McConnell. Take him down at the 38-yard line. Move the chains for a first down.
McConnell's had a nice day, but he's going to have a tough time living down that play where he put up the peace sign.
Yep.
He should have scored a touchdown.
Yep, it was peace and out for him. Short, tracked down by McDuffie from behind, right?
The good news for him is he's not the only guy to do that in college football today. During the commercial break, I saw in another game a player did that.
Really? First and 10 for Abilene Christian. Mansell taking a look, got a man, dropped it right in the bucket for the tight end Hohenstein, and Brendan Hohenstein diving, and it's a touchdown. Great play design there, and Hohenstein takes it in, does Brandon Hohenstein for the touchdown. Mansell with a hat trick of touchdowns through the air, 61 yards on that one.
And Mansell does a great job. Watch Hohenstein right here. He's going to work his way all the way over here. Looks like he's blocking. They just totally lose him. By the time Andre Carter realized it, he's all twisted around, and Hohenstein can roll.
Sure can.
I mean, he was flying.
Zepeda's attempt off the upright, no good. So it remains 48-23.
Look at Mansell. Look at his smile.
3 touchdowns through the air. A beautiful play is Brendan Hohenstein, the former member of Nebraska's program.
I mean, you can tell how he got a scholarship to Nebraska. I mean, he can fly.
Yep.
For a 6'5", 240-pound tight end. Look at these guys running, jumping.
You love it.
I mean, they know they're not going to win the game, but they're having fun. They're getting a chance to play.
Yep.
Talking with Coach Dorrell.
That's right.
About playing Army, he said, hey, look, we know it's a challenge, but there was a 10-day period we didn't know if we'd have any games this year. So
right.
Our guys want to play anybody we can play.
That's right.
A lot of things they'll be able to build on from this game. A lot.
Yep. He chose to play now. They will not play in the spring. Numbers for Peyton Mansell, close to 3 bills through the air. 3 touchdowns, 2 to Clark. And that one to Brendan Hohenstein. 61, 45, and a 2-yard touchdown. The passes he's thrown for TDs here today. Put it in the air 37 times. Oscar Hernandez in.
Looks like they could be set up for the onside kick here.
Hand's team is in for Army.
Well, that squib the last time they got somewhat close to getting that.
Yeah. They tried it and went out of bounds.
Free kick out of bounds. The ball will be placed at the spot of the out of bounds. First down and 10 for Army.
All right, let's get down to Tina. Tina.
So Coach Monken at halftime also gave me another little tidbit because I had asked him about the onside kick and recovering it, and he said when they were scouting Abilene Christian that they saw something in their kickoff coverage and they knew that they wanted to try it. Now it wasn't executed perfectly. It was a good hustle play to recover it, but it was something they had seen. So good scouting work by them.
Sure was, and as I always say, Lloyd Carr always used to tell me you got to be sound in all 3 phases. Going to be sound in the special teams. So now in at quarterback is Maurice Ballon, the sophomore out of Fulton, Maryland, replacing Jamel Jones.
I think they just gave the ball to Gerald Irons III, a freshman D lineman from the Woodlands, Texas, number 89.
Nice.
He's listed at 5'11", 280. Look at that.
Got it again. Well, that's Riley. That is not him. That is Tyson Riley, who is listed as number 38, but they put him in 89 today.
Got it.
That's the deal.
That makes a little more sense.
Yeah.
That guy actually listed at running back, although 89's a heck of a number to have as a running back.
Well, he's 260. He's the same weight as Buchanan, right? But he fills it out. He's 6'2", so a different body type. He gets it again, does Tyson Riley.
Well, he just looks like a tight end with the number 89 out
He does.
there.
Well, his body too, right? 6'2" and 260. I mean, I know some are a little bit less in weight than that, but his first playing time here at Army. I'm telling you, man, Brent Davis is always keeping us on our toes. Maurice Ballon on 4th and a yard. Under center with Atkins behind him. No problem for Atkins, still going. I think about 7. And that'll make it 1st and 10. Army's really got to snap it one more time here and should do it. They're going to improve to 3-1 on the season. Abilene Christian will drop to 0-2. Again, Atkins up the gut, spin move. Atkins still on his feet. Touchdown! What an effort! No quickness, team, even though they're up big in this ball game. And he makes it 54-23 on a 28-yard run. It'll be one he'll never forget, and that had a little bit of everything in it, Ross.
Watch the 2nd and 3rd effort. Good blocking by the 2nd string offensive line. One guy goes low and makes a miss, rips through.
Jeez.
Then they try to tackle him. Hargrove, he just carried him. Army didn't even need to do that. They could have taken a knee. That was going to be the last snap of the game.
Yep. Aguilar's into snap. Jose will hold. Moretzky tacks on the PAT. Makes it 55-23. 37 ticks remaining. Atkins, another look, Ross.
I mean, you go low, he's athletic enough to hurdle you. He's strong enough to run through you. There's a reason why they call him Ferdinand the Bull. He's got some ability. 6'1", 255. Had a scholarship offer from Louisville.
Yeah.
Tells you the type of athletic ability he has. Maybe he's starting to figure out how good he really can be.
10 carries, 70 yards for Anthony Atkins. 2 touchdowns on the day. And a double nickel on the board for Army with 37 seconds remaining in the ballgame. Viti there, the fullback coach. He's got a stable, doesn't he? Of those B-backs, those fullbacks, 441 on the ground for Army. 6 rushing touchdowns. Throwing the 33-yard pass from Jamel Jones to Michael Roberts for another. Field goal from Salyers. Field goal from Moretzky. This one taken at the 5 by Brooks West. Jordan Brooks West. Good effort out of him. Late stage of the game with half a minute to go. Army's guys still flying around as well as you would expect. So 30 ticks remaining.
Ended up being a higher scoring game than I thought it would end up being.
I'm with you.
Usually, by the nature of Army's offense, you don't get this many points in it because there's not that many big plays. It's 4 yards, 6 yards, 3 yards, 7 yards. But they got some big plays, and Abilene Christian got some big plays as well.
Yeah. On the 30 with 30 seconds left in this one. Into a seam is Tylen Williams. Catch out near midfield. Well delivered ball there by Mansell.
Stone Earl's actually in the game now. Stone Earl.
Yep, it is.
They slipped him in there to get him a little experience.
Slipped that ball in there nicely too.
Timeout. ACU. Their second of the half.
So Adam
we have
Doral
30 seconds.
Going to talk things over with his guys here with 16 seconds left. And try to get one more in the end zone. Now that's a football name.
Look at that hair. I mean, great name and great hair. Look at that hair at the bottom.
Produced a few football players in that town in Texas, Keller.
Yeah, you hear that a lot.
Yeah,
Texas.
Yeah. There's Jamel Jones. What a day he had. Career high rushing. Couple on the ground, one through the air. Christian Anderson injured in the first half, unable to return. Today is what we were told. So from midfield, Stone Earl looking to put one up again, and does. McConnell the catch. Ooh, broke a tackle, then paid the price with 2 more Army defenders coming in on the play there, and they unfurl the bodies, and that's going to do it. This one is a final. 55-23, Army wins it. They improved to 3-1. Abilene Christian drops to 0-2 on the season. Great respect between those two men right there. Jeff Monken and Adam Doral. And the two teams meeting in the midfield area. We'll have the alma mater coming up momentarily before we get you to New York. So this Armed Services Saturday starts out on a good note for the Black Knights. You'll have Navy Air Force coming up at 6 tonight. From Colorado Springs, Air Force in their opener. Navy with a couple under their belts already. So they'll head to the south end zone here at Michie Stadium. The last time we were here a couple weeks ago, they went down to the north end zone. Then they went all the way to the south. They're more in sync here this week, and Abilene Christian, without question, will take part in honor. Stand and listen to the Army West Point alma mater after an Army win here today to improve to 3-1. Let's watch and listen to West Point alma mater. There you go. Famous words at the end. Beat Navy and the cannons go off. And Army win. They're 3-1 on the season, Ross.
Those guys get to celebrate and enjoy another victory. Good bounce back after the Cincinnati loss. You see Sandon McCoy there in the middle giving his guys high fives. And I have a feeling a bunch of those guys might have another game they're going to watch in about an hour right here on CBS Sports Network.
Oh,
That'd be my guess.
Yeah, that's a fair and very safe guess, sure. So the two teams disperse, make their way to their locker rooms. Abilene Christian, I liked what I saw out of them. I mean, what I liked the most out of them was their no quit. I like the fact that their coach early in this game went for it on 4th down, didn't just say, you know what, we're going to punt it and give them the ball. His team came here and put forth a very, very solid effort, I thought.
Yeah, I like Coach Thorell. I like what he's doing with the program. I think they're going to win a bunch of games in the Southland Conference this year.
Yep, right there with you. So they'll make their way back to Texas here from Newburgh Airport, about 20 minutes from here.
Win. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ben, Ross.
All right, Tina, thanks so much. Thanks to Jeff Munkin as the Cadets make their way out of Michie Stadium. They got a little freedom for the afternoon and saw their team win here today. Once again, our final score, Army 55, Abilene Christian 23. For Ross Tucker, Tina Savasio, all of our crew, my name is Ben Holden. Hope you enjoyed the broadcast. It's been a presentation of CBS Sports Network, the 24-hour home of CBS Sports. Let's now get you down to New York inside college football. And our Armed Forces Special with Brent and the gang is next.